keep a nice smile, time to practice our smiling skills, right? Because a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever caught yourself with that serious face and you're like, oh my God, why was I so sad? I've caught myself a lot of times with that, crazy serious face, like like I'm feeling a little bit constipated. So I've learned to remind myself, Lucy, you got to smile more. Lucy, you got to, put on your best, I guess appearance, right? Because we don't do it intentionally, but sometimes we forget to smile. So thank you to each and every one of you. Let me see. Did we light up your chat? We've got Fort Myers in the room. Where are you watching from? And if you are here, you must engage. And those of you that paid to be here, I can't wait. I can't wait to give you the resources all for you because you invested in yourself. And when someone invests in themselves, I want to make sure you get 100% of your investment, back. So that is so important to me because there's something to be said about the people that have the mindset of investing in themselves, right? You value yourself to the point where you realize I am worthy of, investing in myself. So number one, like Dalia said, you're going to get the um all the resources directly from us, the links, everything, so you can go back. You are going to get the replay, right? You're going to get the recording of this so you can go back and take notes and dissect it. Because there's something, let me tell you, when you read a book once, when you watch a movie once, when you do something once, our brain only captures 10% of it. Who's with me? Raise your hand if you can relate, right? Your brain only captures 10% of it. That's why when you pay to be present, we're going to give you the recording, and then you are going to get to pick one of my expert advisors to go nose to nose, toes to toes, one on one, and have a free, complimentary, super valuable one on one session with one of these expert advisors. So you get to pick which one has the topic that you just want to deep dive with, and all that for making a very small investment in yourself and being here. So isn't that amazing? Isn't that, that is super valuable. So get your pen and papers ready. I am going to kick this off with something that I want each and every one of you to take notes. Listen, there's something so powerful that happens when you surround yourself with high level players, and when you see CEOs of Fortune 500 companies entering a room and sitting at a table taking notes from someone that is doing what they want to do, or someone that is where they want to go. you know I heard it said this way, and I want you to write this down. I heard it said this way, from one of my coaches: the people that need it most pay the least attention. Write that down, because I really want you to be present today. And whether you're watching live on social media or you're here with me, what is this telling you about you? What is this making you think? So here it is again. Write it down. The people that need it most pay the least attention. And the people that need it the least pay the most attention. What does that tell you about you? Because everything I'm going to share with you in these next 20 minutes, the intention, and I coach my community in Colombia about something super powerful that I learned last year from Tony Robbins, right? For 1 year, I learned from this man. Like, I became the number one student. I put everything aside. My businesses were on the back burner. My life was on the back burner. My day-to-days were on the back burner. I literally went into sessions of 16-hour days learning and taking notes. Until 1 and 2 in the morning, literally my brain was mush. But you know what? That's how bad I wanted it. So I want to set the foundation with this. Show up with intention. Be intentional about your time here. Tony Robbins taught me something so powerful. Everything you've done, everything you're doing, and everything you are gonna do revolves around the catalyst of intentionality. See, a lot of times we are in a room, we're on a Zoom, we're in a meeting, we're somewhere physically, but we're not there mentally and we're not there emotionally. And most of all, guys, write this down. I need to show up psychologically. You are the product of your psychology. I don't care if you're 18, 28, 58, or 88, or 98. I don't care. This has nothing to do with your age. Your psychology is your biggest asset or your worst sabotaging tool, your psychology. What do you mean by psychology, Lucy? What do you mean by psychology? I'm going to break it down for you. Write this down because this is what I learned the previous year by Dr. Joe Dispenza when I found myself in a space and a place where I was not happy. I was not satisfied. I did not like the life I was living. I didn't like the person that I looked at in the mirror. I didn't represent what my gut, what my, inner self, what my spirit, what my soul was telling me I really was. I wasn't representing it. I wasn't thinking like the woman that I know I could become. I wasn't acting like the woman that I knew I could become. I wasn't, feeling my life, experiencing my life like the woman that I knew I could become. I was not satisfied with my day-to-day lifestyle. Literally, I felt like an eagle in a cage. And I learned by Dr. Joe Dispenza that write this down, the way that I think creates the way that I feel. The way that you think creates the way that you feel. Your body has memory, and you and I have programmed our bodies to function either at a very high level or a very low level. There's no in betweens here, guys. It's kind of like when, people say, I'm gonna try. What exactly are you saying? What are you hallucinating? Because there's no try. You either do or you don't. You don't try to pay the light bill. You either do or you don't. You don't try, to eat. Either you do or you don't. So the way that you think creates a feeling in your body that generates a memory. And the way that you think and you feel creates the way you are. Because as we think and we feel, that's how we are. And I practiced this for a year until it stuck. And until you get to the point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, let me tell you, I'm still dealing with stuff that I'm like, okay, Lucy, you know what? This is it. That's it. That's it. Enough is enough. Until when? Come on, let's go. It's getting dark out. So intentionality comes from waking up. Write that down. You got to wake up. Your success is waiting for you to wake up. And I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care how many titles you have. I don't care how many billions and zillions or gazillions or trillions of dollars you're able to generate, because there's always another level. And that's why we're here talking about that next level, high level, higher level. What is that higher level for you? But here is the most powerful part that I realized. My body was representing my psychology. And it was not only representing my psychology in the way that I performed, it was representing my psychology in the way that I thought. Every thought, write this down, every thought manifests. I don't care what you're thinking of, your predominant thoughts are manifesting, whether you want to or not. It is a law of physics, like the law of gravity. I don't care your title. I don't care the zeros in your bank account. I don't care who you are, right? You could be Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, the Pope, the president. Every thought, every predominant thought will manifest. And it all comes down to your psychology. So when I learned this in 2021, I was like, then what is it that I'm thinking? Because if I'm in a space and a place where I'm not satisfied, and I had the company, and I had the titles, and I had the experience, and I had the fame and the glam, and what everybody thinks is success, but I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't happy. I was not satisfied. Like this is not my highest and maximum potential. Write that down. Are you living? That is your question. You need to answer this question, my friends. Are you living at your highest and maximum potential? And if you're like me, the answer is a whopping heck no. Because there's something inside of you. See, your psychology is in your mind. Tony Robbins says it this way, and I like to give credit where credit is due because no one is really self-made. We are a byproduct of the people we hang around with. We are a byproduct of somebody that has gone before us, that has paid the price, that has put in the blood, sweat, the tears. That person that has fallen a million times but gotten up a million and one times. That person that has not thrown in the towel. That person that's not made up a bunch of excuses. That person that has not accepted all the blame game that we as humans tend to provide. That person that paved the way to be able to teach us what we are able to learn and opened up new frontiers for us to say, oh my goodness, if they could do it, I could do it. If they're there, I could get there. I just need to do what they did. And that's where your psychology comes into. And when you wake up out of the hallucination, what is a hallucination? Write this down. Hallucination is I'm scared. You're hallucinating. That is not true. That is what your mind is telling you. But you could still go for it. Hallucination is I'm not ready. That is a hallucination. That is not true because nobody's ever ready. Even if you're at your higher level, there's still a higher level than that, and you're still not ready for that level. There's no such thing as, I'm not ready. Every day, if you improve, write this down. If I improve 1%, I learned this from my coach in 2022, Eric Worre. Eric Worre said, if you improve 1% per day, you will be 365% better at the end of the year. Man, it's only 1% per day. But you got to wake up. You have to stop hallucinating. That's why this introduction, I don't care if I don't go beyond my introduction because I have no rush. I'm in no rush. I'm here with intentionality. I'm not here to beat the clock. I'm here to bring something that is going to be transformational for you, like it's been transformational for me. Intentionality. What is your intentionality when you show up? Are you present physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually? You know where your spirit lies? It's that gut. It's right under your chest bone. When you get those butterflies because you're in love, right? That's your soul speaking to your spirit, and you're like, oh, I'm in love. When you're scared, you also feel it there, right? When you're worried, you also get it there. You feel it there. So it's not just what you're thinking, it's what you are feeling. It's what you're feeling. Who's with me? Give me a number 3 in the chat if you are getting this. Everything that you have been thinking about is exactly where you are. And if you don't like it, you need to become more intentional and live with intentionality. Live with intentionality. I remember I said, Lucy, you can't. You can't be going out in public looking like this. Aren't you saying you're going to be like this, you know, globe world traveler representing, the best of the best in real estate? Aren't you saying that you want to be this woman that leaves a legacy and inspires and motivates? You need to represent, my friend. That was me talking to me. See, and what I learned from that was, I still had not gotten out of my hallucination. My hallucination of I'm not good enough. I really don't matter. I really don't matter. Nobody really likes me. I'm not that likable. I'm not that, valuable. Even though I had the money, I had the title, I had the company, I had the people, I had everything to back it up, I didn't feel it. And if you don't feel it, guys, that's why I'm telling you, what you think and what you feel is what you do. How do you feel every morning when you're making up a gazillion and 5,000 trillion excuses for not being the person that you said you were gonna be? That's where exercise comes in. Because if you can't dominate your body, my friend, you'll never dominate your business. I don't care how far you go, it will be like walking in shackles. You're only going to get so far. You can't break through. You hit that brick wall. It's like you're taking 10 steps forward and 15 steps back. It's like you're walking around with rubber bands on your feet until you come out of that hallucination. You know what? It's not about me feeling like I want to go. Oh, of course, your knee, your ankle, your head, your back. I mean, your earlobes are, oh, it hurts. It's cold. It don't matter. It don't matter. Because the moment that you dominate your body, remember, I just told you what you think and what you feel is what you do. If your psychology is not able to dominate this body because this body has memory, it's like the memory foam. It's like the memory mattress. I'm telling you, it remembers. It remembers. It remembers the good, the bad, and the ugly. It remembers when you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, but it says, "Oh, let's go play Nintendo." It remembers how good Nintendo is, how much fun Netflix is, right? How much better scrolling to take. It remembers the things you like to do to waste time, so it always takes you back there because it remembers. It remembers how good. Listen, I tell the people, listen, if you're going to hang around with me, you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to get in shape. You at a high risk of changing. Don't get close to me. This stuff is contagious, highly contagious. Because this is becoming my life. I don't know about you, but I don't want people just to say, "Oh, she was so nice," when I drop stone cold dead. Everybody says, "Oh, they were so nice." That's like the respectful thing to say. So show up in your psychology. How is your Let me tell you, there are some people that in their psychology, when it comes to working out, they're on point. But when it comes to their business, they're hallucinating. There's some people that are on point for making money, but when it comes to their relationships, they're hallucinating. Where are you and I hallucinating still? What are those areas where you're hallucinating? Where you are allowing your mind to use you instead of you using your mind? Where you are allowing your negative, limiting, lack, old, right? Filled with cobweb thought process still hold you back. And then when you get around people that like my expert advisors that are going to be talking to you and you hear them talk, they make it look so easy. You may say, "Lucy, you make it look so easy." It's called practice. I practice life every day. I show up intentionally every day. I was tired of hallucinating and allowing myself to live in the rat race with the same old excuses every day. Either blame shifting or finding some lame excuse for self-sabotaging. Write that down. Am I self-sabotaging? Am I still going around the same wretched mountain that I've been going around for the last 5, 10, 15 years? Am I still going around the same mountain of, oh, I forgot. Oh, I don't know. No, no. That is a hallucination. You didn't forget. It's still not top of mind. You're still not on your A game. You still haven't hit your A playlist. You're still not being, thinking, walking, talking, acting, feeling like the person you have the idea you want to be. But when you have the intention, man, let me give you the most powerful level of intention that humans understand. I've got the intention to eat. I want to see somebody go without eating for days. Oh, I forgot. I forgot to eat. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm hungry. That's how you live life at a bounce back level. Write that down. Bounce back level. I already gave you my introduction. How you think and how you feel is how you act. Your psychology determines your intentionality. Your thoughts manifest. I got no deals, Lucy. That's what you're manifesting because you're thinking, you're feeling, you're acting like somebody that doesn't know how to produce. You have not woken up. You're hallucinating. I don't know how to do this. Let me tell you, we are entering the year 2025, my friends. There ain't nothing you can say you don't know. It's not, I don't know. Write this down. I'm going to give you this formula. It's not, I don't know. Somebody could put it in the chat for me, put it on social media somewhere. It's no longer, I don't know. I'm going to burst your bubble like I burst mine. It's no longer, I don't know. It's, I'm really not interested. Because when you want to know, there's this thing called YouTube that will teach you how to do anything, but you've got to go invest the time. You've got to go sit down with a pen and paper and take notes. You've got to do what I did in 2014 when I was teaching my agents at my Century 21 company how to do video. I opened up 2 browsers. One was the video, the other one was me doing it. And I would stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go at 3 in the morning so that I could be ready to show up at 8 in the morning, meet with my staff, and then go into my training at night. There is no such thing as I don't know. That is a hallucination. So I want you to do a challenge. Who's up for a challenge? I want you to become aware every time you hear someone, including yourself, say, I don't know. You are going to see the level of people you are surrounding yourself with when you become aware of how many times someone says, I don't know, including yourself, because we are a product of those we hang around with. I don't know does not exist. That is a hallucination. And you know what I'm going to challenge you to do? Help that other person, including yourself. Say, no, you do know. Because people need our help. Like we needed somebody's help. So this is my introduction to me telling you how, write this down, how strong is your bounce back? See, you and I have been programmed for gazillion years, not literally, but you think and you feel and you act because you've been watching other people think, feel, and act the way you are thinking, feeling, and acting. In the early 1900s, in the industrial era, a tribe, for lack of a better term, a group of highly wealthy men said, we're going to start the manufacturing business in America and around the world. We're going to initiate factories. But you know what? We've got the money to buy the machines, but what are we missing? Put it in the chat, the people. See, this thing about business, this didn't start, with Google. This didn't start, you know, 30 years ago. Business began from the foundation of the world. From the foundation of the world. Go look at the book of Genesis, regardless of what your faith is. Let me tell you, Genesis, even scientists will try to disprove it, and they come out understanding that Genesis is the book about the foundation of the world. And you will find that it says, in the beginning. And then it breaks it all down. But if you go back there, even from the beginning, there was business. There was someone that said, and let's make this and let's make that. It sounded like a Lucy, and let's do this and let's do that, and then let's do the other thing, and let's call this that, and let's call that that, and then we're gonna, and then we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do it like this, and like people that hang around with me, and they're like, oh my God, my head is spinning. Yep, because we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that, and I don't care. Let's just go for it. Yeah, in the beginning. And on the sixth day, that being said, and now we need people. And now we need people. So people got created. It was Adam. Adam was created. And then Adam got put to work. Guys, we are supposed to be creating every single day. If you are sitting at home, broke, busted, and disgusted, if you are Netflixing, whatever, and binging on Netflix, if you're not creating and doing business, I don't care if you're an employee, you're still handling business. And it goes back to Genesis. When I learned this, I was like, oh my God, this is so powerful. This is so absolutely powerful. So then they looked for people in the beginning. And so then fast forward the industrial age, because I got to close in 2 minutes. These men bought, machinery, and they created factories, and they said, we need people. And here's where you and I began to, this, all these 10 generations back, you know what? We're going to pay them. They're going to show up at 7 in the morning. We're going to tell them what to do like a little robot. They're going to watch the clock, because at 4 o'clock, we're going to sound the bell, a siren. I don't know if you've ever watched some movies, when the factories were closing, they were like, ding, 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 ding. People knew, okay, the ding, ding, ding meant we got to go home. And that's how employee-minded was created. You show up, I give you my life for a paycheck. I live paycheck to paycheck for 40 years. Then you give me like a gold watch or a pretty pen. You send me home to sit in a rocking chair until death comes and picks me up, and then I go to heaven. What is that? That was not what was created at the beginning. In the beginning, Adam was told, you are going to name every single creature on the planet. I don't know how he came up with cockroaches and ants. I don't know, but that's what it said. And after he named everything, after he was put to work, guys, we are supposed to create. What are you creating besides stress, chaos, confusion, lack, excuses, uncertainty, fear, doubt, double-mindedness? Come on, we can go on. Trust me, this was me. Frustration, complaining, blame shifting, excuses. I don't know. I'm going to try. What is that? Right? Then it says, hello, Adam was good, but Adam and Eve were better. I mean, the dynamic duo. Okay? Fast forward, do you have a business mindset? Or are you still stuck in the early 1900s, acting, thinking, walking, talking, exchanging your life for a paycheck because you've been so programmed to have the psychology of an employee? So this leads us to, how strong is your bounce back? Delia, remind me when I need to stop, because I'm almost done. But this is your bounce back. This is your bounce back. Every thought has manifested into the person you walk, talk, feel, think, and act like every single day. And that is what we need in our society. Bounce back. Bounce back. That's what our industry needs. Bounce back. How am I bouncing back from the adversities? How am I bouncing back when I say I really want to do this, but then I listen to my hallucination? In your brain, you have been programmed to have the psychology, and your mind is using you. Oh my God, you don't have enough money. Wait, hold on. I'm a smart person. I don't have enough money. Let me go create more money. Let me go generate more money. Let me go find a gift, a talent, a resource, and let me put it to use. Let me get up and show up. Let me go up and be present. What do you mean I'm going to be watching a clock? No, I work from sun up to sundown, midnight. It don't matter. What do you mean I forgot? What do you mean I don't know? That is not the psychology of a champion. So today we're talking about taking our life, because what happens to you in business is happening to you in life. What you are manifesting in business, you are manifesting in life. The problem is we're surrounded with a whole bunch of people that are more like us, and they love us too much to tell us the truth. So they accept all our chaos and dysfunction and limiting thought. They don't even tell us, like, listen, get with the program. You could do more, right? Because our mind is created to protect us, and our family is created to support us. Oh, it's okay. You're broke. It's all right. Ain't no problem. What do you mean ain't no problem? Being broke hurts. What do you mean there's no problem? Being broke hurts. I know. I know. I know what it feels like to be bouncing checks. I know what it feels like to not know, what bill to pay. But I'm here to tell you there's a way out. And it all begins with how you think and how you feel and how you act. And this is a daily thing, because this will take you to your bounce back. This will strengthen your bounce back. Every one of my expert advisors is going to share with you about their bounce back and now what they're doing and how they're doing it. And you know what? They got higher levels. I'm the first one. I'm scouting, hunting, looking for people that want to go to that higher level, that want to monetize what they know how to do. It ain't for free no more, baby. It's for a fee. Let's go. I'm worthy. I'm valuable. I'm here to change lives, transform lives, and it's okay to profit. Profit, P-R-O-I-F-T, or P-R-O-F-I-T is not a bad word. It's a good word, okay? So look at what you are doing day in and day out, because you are the originator of what you are manifesting. And if you're happy and you're doing good, clap your hands, but I'm here to tell you there's more. There's more. There's a higher level. There's a better level. You could look better, bigger, bolder, brighter. You could look more outstanding. You can act, walk, talk, think, feel more outstanding. You could be that head turner when you walk into the rooms. You could be the atmosphere shifter and changer. You and I were created to be the thermostats, baby. We set the temperature. What you mean? What you mean it's hard? It's only hard till I master this, baby. I'm gonna master this, baby. It's only hard when I haven't faced the giants, and I am here to decapitate my giants. I will eat giants for breakfast. Let's go. They will be my daily bread. Bring on the giants. And giants could be all kinds of situations. I eat giants for cereals. That's it. That's my mindset. That's my psychology. And life will test me. And life will test me, and life will test you. And you're going to decide whether you run away like a scary cat or you step up. Or you step up. It's all in your psychology. Thank you, guys. I hope you got something out of this. Because let me tell you, this is my world now. And I ain't going back. I'm not going back. My days of living in self-sabotage are over, Rover.
Talking about coming in hot, Lucy. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Give Lucy a round of applause.
Thank you, guys. It's all for
Thank
you. It's all
you.
for you. Thank you for showing up for this.
Awesome. So talking about bounce back, right? I think one of the biggest struggles that real estate agents or people in business in general face is objections, right? Having tough conversations. So how are you bouncing back from those conversations? So who we have expert advisor Carly Allison here that's going to be talking about conversion and tough conversations. So let's bring Carly to the stage. Everyone,
Woo! Welcome,
welcome
Carly.
her.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So my name is Carly Allison. I'm a success partner, business development manager for Southwest Florida for Celebration Title Group. And she's right. That's one of the things you have to bounce back from hard conversations. So one of the things that I do in my position is it's called success partner for a reason. And I help agents really reach their potential and be as successful as they can be. So we don't just do title work. We don't just, close your files. Part of my job is to help you increase, your closings, help you increase your business, help you increase your reach, and connect you with people like the people on the panel here. Crystal, Marissa, everybody involved here has something that they offer, and then we all kind of network back and forth and give back and forth with business because they have strengths that, I like to introduce my agents to as well. So I'm going to share my screen and just go through a couple of quick slides on how I work in my business and how things that I do to increase my business and the way I use those conversations with my agents. So let me show you. So these are conversations to drive your business. And here's my information. If anybody wants to get in touch with me or has any questions, feel free. So the first thing, you have to get real with facts. So when agents call me and they have like, oh, I'm not selling anything, I'm not, growing, my business isn't doing anything, you have to get uncomfortable and find what's comfortable. So you can't be comfortable until you've been through the discomfort. You can't really work hard and do what you need to do until you've hit the bottom, until you've been hungry, until you've been, your car's about to get repossessed, all these things that everybody goes through when they're building a business. You cannot get to the top until you've been to the bottom. You don't start in the middle of the ladder. You got to climb it all the way up. And one of the things I do with my agents is I don't sugarcoat anything. If they are doing something that needs to change, I'll tell them, hey, this listing is overpriced. We've looked at comps, we'll talk together. You're not marketing your open houses. You're not giving 110%. So we have to change that. We have to, focus on your business. And I also have to remind a lot of times that they are capable because you feel like I'm not selling, I'm not doing what I need to do, or my business isn't doing as well as I thought it would. That's another thing that Lucy was talking about. That's the intention that you're setting out. That's that mindset. You're putting that out there. If you put out there, I'm capable. I walk into a room and I know I'm going to close this deal. I'm going to get this listing. I tell my agents all the time, when you go to that listing appointment, visualize yourself signing that listing agreement. Visualize yourself putting the sign out. Visualize all those things and know that you are capable and you're worthy. You deserve it just as much as the next person does. And everybody that has had luxury listings or a successful business started where you are right now. So, and you also need to be real honest with yourself and evaluate your current business and your attitude towards your business. Do you get up in the morning and get dressed and go to work, even though you work for yourself? Do you leave early? Do you come in at 10:30, 11 o'clock? Are you respecting your business? What's your attitude towards your business? If your attitude towards your business is, I'm a real estate agent and I'm doing it, I'm going to get it. Or are you, this is my livelihood. This is what is going to feed my family, fulfill my hopes and dreams, do everything that I want it to do, but it's on my back and I have to do it. So your attitude towards your business is really, really critical when you are evaluating why you're not growing or where you want to grow. You have to be consistent. You need to show up for yourself. Nobody's going to come and wake you up in the morning like you're a sixth grader and say, hey, get up. It's time to go to work. We got to get up. That's not going to happen. You have to want it and do it. And with discipline, comes consistency. You're not going to wake up in the morning and just be consistent. That's not a fact. It's not a truth. And you just have to realize that to become consistent, you have to be disciplined. One of the ways that I am disciplined and I teach my agents to be disciplined is time block. Set a schedule and live by it. Literally live by it. I have a calendar. Everything I do goes in that calendar. I write it down. I have a calendar on Google. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. So I'm consistent because I'm disciplined with putting things on my calendar. You can time block hourly, you can time block daily, weekly, monthly, whatever works for you. I say do it as detailed as possible so that nothing gets missed. Time block for activities, time block for, this is the time I'm going to prospect. This is the time I'm going to show houses. This is the time I'm going to work in my business or on my business. Differences, of what you do during the day, and really stick to it. If your phone rings while you're prospecting, answer it. If you get an email while you're prospecting and it's something that needs to be handled for a closing, that needs to be handled during your time block. Set your boundaries and stick to them. Be disciplined about it, and it will create consistency. Make that your first thing in the morning, your go-to. You're going to check your schedule. You're going to make sure that you're on track for the day. Sunday night, I plan for my week ahead. I look at my calendar and I say, this is what I've got to do for the week, and this is how I'm going to do it. Every month, I look at my calendar, and at the first of the month, if you follow me on social media, you know that the first of the month, I post my schedule, my calendar of all my events. And that is not only for you, but it's for me, because then I know, okay, I've got these 4 events I've got to take care of. I put on my schedule what I need to prepare the day before. I have a budget. I have all those things in place because my attitude towards my business is it's important to me, and I'm showing up for it. And that's one of the ways I show up for it is I plan religiously every month, every Sunday. And then at the end of the year, I do a yearly plan, which I just completed. And that gives me my goals. My goals are SMART, measurable, attainable, and there's something that they're reasonable and that I can do in a timely manner. So they're SMART goals. So that's another thing you need to be mindful of when you're setting your intention for the year. You're setting your intention for the month. You're setting your intention for the week. Make sure that your goals are something attainable. Don't say I'm gonna get 6 listings this week, because you're probably not. You can go out with that goal, but is that an attainable goal? How about we get 2 appointments? That's a better goal. 2 appointments, we get 1 listing. That's fantastic. So that's, very important, is being consistent and creating the discipline to get there. I also talk to my agents about working in and on their business. And those are 2 totally separate things. And you need to make space and time for both of them. Working in your business is when you're showing houses, you're doing contracts, you're prospecting, you're doing all those things. Working on your business is when you're creating your schedule, when you are organizing your office, when you are setting your social media posts, you're cleaning up your social media, you're making sure you're engaging, you're doing things on your business to make your business successful. And you need to know the value that you bring to your business so that you can do those things. Accept what you don't know, because like Lucy said, people say, I don't know. Accept that you don't know it, but you need to go learn it. If you don't know it, go ask somebody. If you're the smartest person in the room that you're in the wrong room. So you need to go and surround yourself with people that can teach you things, like this mastermind panel here. Everybody in this room has something. Even the people watching, you guys have value that we don't know about yet. And we would love to, speak to you guys and learn your value. There's something that everyone has that makes them special. And if you don't know what yours is, go learn it. If you don't know what something is, go learn it. When you prospect, and you need to be prospecting daily, because it is critical for any job, any business, prospecting is absolutely critical. I mean, what do you do if you don't have clients? Everyone prospects. Commercials are prospects. Phone calls are prospects. Door knocking is prospects. But you need to do it with intention. Just picking up the phone and calling every single expired that there is not an intentional prospecting. You need to be looking at those expireds, looking at what you can bring to those, looking at why they expired, what you can do to help them sell, and really know what your value is when you call these prospects. when you have, a buyer that's looking for a property and they're looking for something that you have absolutely no experience with, land or things like that, or commercial properties, and maybe you have never sold a commercial property, is that an intentional prospect for you? Or is that someone that you should really get with your referral partners, your network, and really come together and mastermind in your own little way to prospect? And that's prospecting with intention. And then when you do have these prospecting calls, when you do prospect, you need to have real conversations. It's not just, hey, I could sell your house. Give me a call. Do you still want to sell this? It's tell them who you are. Tell them what you bring. Tell them your value and let them see, and they can hear it. When somebody walks into a room and they are blowing smoke, we all know it. We all can feel it. We all can see it. It is very evident. When you walk into a room or when you're on a phone call and you are confident, put a smile on your face on the phone because they can hear it. You can hear a smile. You can hear my smile right now. But when I don't have a smile, you can hear that too. So have a real conversation, be genuine, and see where it takes you. See where those real conversations, even out in public when you're discussing things with people, you hear somebody say real estate and your ears perk up. Have a real conversation with them about who you are and what you do and how you've brought your business to where it is now. I teach my agents and I also track my efforts. Track your efforts. If you do not have a CRM or some way to track your efforts, you are not going to be able to measure your results or your goals. Measurable goals is important, and tracking your efforts is one of the things that I will not yell at my agents, but I will be stern with them. You need a CRM. If you don't have one, let me make one for you. I'll create it. We'll work on it together. And when you have the ability to put it into a real CRM database, we'll do that. We'll help you. I'll work it together. Got to track your stuff. You're going to keep notes on all your calls and activities because that holds you accountable and that keeps you on track. And then you're going to maintain relationships and engage with those people. People that you've worked with, once you've closed the deal with them or once they've moved on from using you for services, they're always in your sphere of influence. There's someone that can refer business to you. There's someone that can give you a testimonial. There's someone that might say, "Oh, you're thinking of selling your house? I know this great real estate agent. She was so kind. Even after I sold my house, she sent me a Christmas card 2 years later." Things like that make a difference. Be honest. Be honest with yourself about what you do. Really reflect on yourself and think about, are you doing what you want to do? Are you doing something that is meaningful to you, that is fulfilling to you, that will get you where you want to go? And are you doing it with intention? Are you doing it in an honest way? Are you doing it to the fullest of your capabilities? Or are you waking up every morning and half-assing? Because a lot of people do. They get up in the morning, they say, I'm not going to go to the office today. I'm just going to work from home. Or I'm going to go in about 1, maybe after kids get out of school, I'll go in, or I'll make some calls later. That is not being honest with yourself, and that is not holding yourself accountable. And if you feel like you can't hold yourself accountable, call me. I'll do it. I'll be your accountability partner. I'll call you and say, how many calls did you make today? Do you want to make some calls together? You want to come to the office and make calls? I'll sit right here and listen to you make calls. I sat with an agent yesterday and we called expireds together because she was nervous. So I said, you know what? I'm a real estate agent. I still have a license. I'll call them too. So we called agents. We got 4 listings. Got 4 listings yesterday on expired calls, just making them in the office. So it's just, you have to just hold yourself accountable, be consistent, be truthful with your clients when you call them. Don't call people and say, I'm going to sell your house for $40,000 more than you wanted, because that's not true. Really, really, really give people what they need to hear, just like I do with my agents. You may not want to hear it, but it's going to be the best thing for you, and it's going to propel your business because it's going to get rid of all the crap that is holding you back. All the shackles around your ankles, like Lucy was talking about, it's going to just rip them off. So it's better just to pull off that Band-Aid and make those really honest, true statements. And you need to be kind in your business. Everybody that we work with, you're going to work with them again. You're going to see those people again. Guarantee it. You might have somebody that you don't like, or somebody that you had a tiff with, or somebody that was rude during a transaction. You better suck it up and be nice, because you're going to have to work with them in the future. And one day they might hold the keys to something that you really want. So be kind and be humble and be respectful to everybody in this industry. It's completely reciprocal. One of the things that Marissa's going to touch on that I just wanted to end with, so I kind of let her have that, is you need to network. You need to network, you need to get out there, you need to get in situations that you just don't want to be in. I know a lot of us don't like to network. I know a lot of us think, oh, I don't want to go to a restaurant and sit with a bunch of people that I don't know. But do it, because you know what? Every time I've done it, I've walked away with either a client or a friend. And the friend has either brought me a client or another friend. And it's just grown my business and grown my network, and it will pay off in the long run. Even not so much for your business, for your mental health. It's just good to get out there and meet people and talk to people, and especially people that are in the same industry as you or having the same problems as you. You can, hey, are you going through this? Because I'm going through this. And it's really, really helpful to do that. And your self-care and your mental health is just as important as anything else. So that's pretty much everything that I tell my agents. We have those hard conversations. Sometimes they don't want to hear it, sometimes they love to hear it. But every time we have those conversations, they grow. And that is what is the most important thing. So if anybody needs anything, there's my information right there. And I'm available 24/7, not a joke. And good luck to everybody. And I can't wait to see what everybody else has to say today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carly. That was awesome. Let's give Carly a round of applause. I love that lead in, by the way. So thank you so much for that. So next, talking a little bit more on networking is our very own, the networking queen, I would say, Marissa Gonzalez. Hi, Marissa. How are you?
Hey, Thali, I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. Let's hear it, girl. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And yes, Carly, great presentation. Thank you so much for that amazing lead in. Lucy coming in hot with the fire, getting us all pumped up. Thank you. Like, if you guys aren't ready to run a marathon, I don't know what room you're in. But we're going to talk about networking today. You know, when we had our last mastermind, I really did a deep dive on how do you find networking events? Where do you go? Who do you talk to? What does that framework look like, right? So I'm not going to do a deep dive into that. I'll give some key points. So like that, in case you missed that last one. Um, Networking, we hear it all the time. Your network is your net worth, right? If it wasn't for a networking event, I wouldn't have met Lucy. If it wasn't for going to that networking event, I would not be here on this Zoom with you all today and having participated in a lot of the amazing things that Coach Lucy Q has done, because all of that has come from networking, right? And so often we're so focused in the immediate and the right now. What can I get out of right now? I need you guys to shift your mindset a little bit when it comes to networking and recognizing that can we all agree that we're in a people industry? We are in a relationship industry. We have to build those relationships with people, right? I'm getting chills even saying it. And those relationships cannot be built overnight. Think about building a house. You're all in real estate, right? When you are working with somebody and building a house, what do? They start with the foundation, and then they build the walls, and then they add all the other stuff that goes into home building that I don't know about, right? The drywall, all that extra stuff. But that's networking. That's how you want to think about networking. You have to start with that foundation. And so it all starts with being able to build that genuine organic relationship. But let's kind of backtrack a little bit and give you some key points. Where do I find networking events? How do I know where to go? And so I'm a big proponent of Eventbrite. You can go on Eventbrite and you can find networking events. You can go on Facebook, and Facebook has an events tab. You can go there and find events. If you are traveling, this is one of my top nuggets. If you are traveling and you have some time to spare, find events, find farmers market, find different things where people are going to congregate together, where you can connect and get information, so that now you are forever growing the list of individuals that you can connect and reach out to, right? And so when we think about networking, you want to be, and I love that Carly alluded to it, Lucy has alluded to it, right? It's all about intentionality, being intentional with finding the events, attending the events, how you're showing up, but then the real work starts after you've left that event. If I went to Lucy's networking event and we didn't exchange information and we weren't intentional about that next step, we might not be here today, right? And so what does that next step look like for you all? And so that's really what I want to talk to you about. And so as Thali said, I've been pegged the networking queen, if you will, because you will literally, if there's an event happening and I can squeeze it in my calendar, I'm going to make it happen. Listen, when me and Crystal met, I was like, oh, this girl's like me. I like her because she was at all of the events, even if there were 4 or 5 events in a day. How can you be intentional about showing up and supporting those that you love and admire and respect, but then also being intentional about showing up to what's happening, because that's how you're going to be able to grow those relationships, right? Because when you think about the foundation and you think about even talking about relationships, there's 3 layers of a relationship. That first layer is really that selfish layer where you're focused about like, how does this benefit me? And if it doesn't benefit me, I don't want to be a part of it. If that's the layer that you're living in right now, I need you to really do some deep reflection and sitting with yourself and recognize that that layer is not going to get you that long-term success that you're looking for, because everybody's going to know working with you means that you are only focused on yourself, and that's not conducive for anyone, right? That second layer is really where you're like, well, you know what? This makes sense for me. So yes, I'm going to do it because it's kind of mutually beneficial. But the moment that it's no longer beneficial to you, now you kind of like, okay, peace out, deuces. It very much falls in line with that first layer, right? That third layer is that layer where we want to live. How can I be of value? How can I be the person that if this is good for you, I'm going to find a way that it's good for me too, right? Because we have that desire to come together and impact together. And your perspectives and your visions may not be mine, but I believe in what it is that you do enough to say, you know what? We are going to do this together, and I'm excited to see what it looks like, right? That's why when you look at somebody like Lucy, Lucy has individuals who not just love and admire her, but they respect her because they know that she's built this persona, if you will, because it's who she truly is where she is value driven. She wants to bring value to the community by bringing individuals together. So when you think about building those relationships, you really want to come from that value driven layer. How can I be valuable with what I do and what I offer, whether it's a business partnership, whether it's a client? How can I be valuable? And so when we think about networking and continuing to build on that value, one of my key points is what happens after you've collected that business card, right? Does it just go in a pile? Do you just throw it in your CRM and let your CRM drip on it? If you're doing that, I'm going to give you what your next step should be. Because again, it's all about building that relationship together and building that foundation. And so you want to reach out, even if it's a text message, maybe it's a voice note, let them hear your enthusiasm. I love voice notes. And you can say, hey, Thalia, this is Marissa. We just met at the Monarchas networking event. It was so great to meet you. I was wondering if you had maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes on your schedule this week or next week where we could get together, have a coffee, get to know each other a little bit more, or even a virtual coffee if that's what works best for your schedule, right? Now you are leading them into let's get outside of this sometimes noisy chatter around a ton of people, and now it's just you and them, because now that's where you're really going to get to know them a little bit better. You're going to really get to build on that connection that you have with them, and you're getting everything else out the way, and it's just you and that person, right? And so some of the key points that I wanted to highlight for you guys is obviously being warm, being engaging, but you always want to be genuine. You always want to come from a genuine place, because people know when they're just a number. People know when you're just trying to sell them, right? So be genuine. The first question when you're thinking about like that in-person event, because you don't want to start initially with business. You want to get to know them on a personal level, right? And then let it build up to that. And so that first question that you could ask is, hey, what's something that you're excited about that's happening in your life right now? That's going to allow them to open up a little bit. It's a nice icebreaker. And now you can really start to get to know them as a person and what their values are, but also what is happening in their life that's exciting, right? And then your second question could be, what made you decide to attend the meeting that we met at, or what led you to joining that networking group that we met at? Because now you're getting an understanding for what they need. Because when we talk about wanting to be of value for someone, we have to understand what their needs are as well. Because as you're going to these different networking events, as you're connecting with people, you're going to hear conversations of, oh, wait, so-and-so said they just needed this. And I just met with so-and-so, and she said that she joined the networking event or the group because she's looking for this. Let me be a connector. That's one thing that anytime I've met with Lucy or Lucy talks about me, she calls me the connector because I'm always listening to how can I ensure to bring people together. And I mean, all of us here is a reflection of that, right? And then the third question that usually is like my wrap up question is what's your biggest focus and how can I support you? Again, you want to be genuine, but you want to know what their focus is. And because, like Carly said, the relationship doesn't end just after that transaction, right? You want to keep them in mind. You want to do your check ins, but being able to ask them what's your biggest focus is going to allow you to now move with intention to recognize, okay, this is how I can be of value to this person. But then in that exchange of the conversation, they're going to ask you the same things, right? They're going to be like, well, what's exciting in your life, Carly? What do you have going on, Crystal? How can I help you, right? And so that's the bounce back kind of, if you will, from a different perspective of having that ping pong conversation, because now you're able to lead with intention and you're both being able to walk away with clear, valuable information that you can use to continue to support each other and grow one another's businesses. So key takeaways: be genuine, be intentional, lead with value, right? Sharing in your mutual passions, be a problem solver. Share what problems you can help solve for them and their clients as you're going through this conversation. Um, Ask for referrals, right? You don't always have to try to make a sale in that moment, but you can say, hey, by the way, if you see value in what it is that we're trying to do, who can you recommend that I reach out to that would also see mutual value in this? And then just staying consistent and following up is the biggest key. But again, you got to show up, you got to get out there to be able to make these relationships, to meet these people. And it's like Carly said, you have to fill your schedule. You have to be really disciplined with, if it doesn't go in the calendar for me, it's not happening either, right? You have to make sure that you're filling your calendar and you're being intentional. So are you scheduling the time block for the networking event, the time it takes you to drive there? What kind of personal development can you listen to get you in preparation for that event, right? But then after and during and after, you want to be active on social media. I'm gonna play on Carly here, and I'm gonna give the good lead. And actually, I don't know if I'm giving a good lead. And never mind, I'm just kidding. But anyway, you're gonna hear about social media later. But you also want to leverage the event. You want to be excited. You want to get some engaging social media pictures and things like that you can post that shows that you're out there, because other people, they're then going to be like, oh, you were just at that networking event. I usually go, but I didn't get to make it. Let's connect. So that's my time, guys. I hope you learned some valuable takeaways to not just how to find networking events, but then how do you continue that relationship after the networking event has officially ended. So I'll give it back to Talia. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, incredible. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but like everyone so far that has spoken, you can just sense the passion, right, in their voice. So, I mean, I hope you guys are taking notes. This is really good stuff. And something that I just wanted to mention really quickly before we go to the next person is a really good a really good mentor of mine taught me that the fortune is in the follow-up, right? So Marissa touched on that as well. And what's really cool is that the next person is going to talk a little bit more about automations, right? Maybe you can automate some of these follow-ups and kind of help put some things or take some things off of your shoulders. So I would love for everyone to give a warm welcome and round of applause to our next guest and expert, John Collins, who will be talking about automations. Hi, John, how are you?
Hey Talia, hi. So when Lucy asked me to do this, she didn't tell me that I was going to be up against such energetic and moving people. So I feel like I'm at a disadvantage here, but it's been great so far. So thank you very much. Hey, I just want to follow up with something to reach back a little bit with what Lucy was talking about, because Lucy and I met in a training. And Lucy's talking about the bounce back, and I just want to put this out there that Lucy and I both learned something in this class, that when you have an intention then what follows that intention is disruption. And so you have to be ready for that disruption. And then after that disruption happens, then that's where the inspiration comes in. It follows the disruption. And so many people stop at the disruption part, and you've got to fight your way through that disruption. And then after the inspiration comes the illumination. And that's where we all kind of, we take that inspiration and we see what it can do. And so I just want to throw that out there because that's what Lucy, when she was talking about bounce back, that's what it made me think of. And that's not really what I'm here to talk about. So I'll get on to what I'm talking about. You'll have to excuse me. My voice is a little raspy, just getting over a cold, but I'm 90% back, so I feel really great. This is the best day I've felt so far. And I'm from the future, and I'm here to help you. So what does that mean? You know, so often we get stuck in our day-to-day routines, and we get comfortable, and we're not willing to step out of those routines and to try new things and try new technologies that are out there. And I know that for me, and I'm a prime example of it, I still do paper, you know, because I'm old school. Yeah, I got to write it down. Got to write it down. But there's so much new technology out there. And Carly was kind of talking about prospecting. And one of the things that the new technology can do for you is to automate a lot of that follow-up and to stay in touch with people. And it's a combination, it's a balancing act between the personal touch and the automated touch, because the one thing that we all have limited source of is time. And we need things to be able to take certain tasks off of our plate to make sure that they get accomplished. So, and then also what Carly was talking about is to maintain those relationships. We have a saying, and I come from the other side of the railroad tracks. I come from the mortgage side. But we have a saying that if you're not staying in touch with your past clients, someone else is. And that is why automation is so important. And so one of the things that I do is I am in the world of technology, CRMs, voice AI. There's so much exciting stuff out there that will make our life easier and will actually generate more money for us because it will bring more leads in. It will help us qualify those leads. I know that realtors in the past have been very big on the putting people on lists for daily home updates. But if you're putting them on a list and they're not qualified, you're wasting your time. And that's where automation comes in, is they can actually qualify those people when they express interest. So one of the things I like to say is that the future is for those that are willing to grab it, and you have to stay on top of it. So the nice thing about communication is it's pulling it all in to one location. I'm going to show you just a brief example of it in just a moment, but I want to give you an example of what communication can do for you. Marissa commented on an Instagram post, and it came through my automation. It came through, I have an agency called LeadX22, which is based on Go High Level. But that comment that she made came right in through my CRM. I didn't have to go to Instagram. I don't have to go to Facebook. And that's what these programs do for you, is they bring it all in. You can do social media posting right from the CRM. You can respond to your social media comments. You can reply to your Google reviews all from inside of one program. And probably it's less money than what you're spending on all the other programs now. And we kind of did a survey and we added it up and it was like, we save 50%. So one of the things that's really exciting about the automation that's coming along right now is voice AI. And I know the buzzword is AI. For this year, everybody's talking about AI, but there is some fascinating stuff going on. And so one of the things that we have inside of our CRM is what's called a voice AI answering system. Now, what this does is, how many of you, put it in the chat, how many of you still are letting your voicemails answer your calls if you're busy on a listing or if you're showing a house, your phone rings and you let it go to voicemail? Put it in the chat. How many are you still doing that? Because if you are missing out on a valuable asset, which is voice AI answering. Now, what this system does is it can be modified for any industry, whether it be roofers, title companies, dentists, lawyers, real estate agents. And what the system does is you can set it after a certain number of rings, it will actually pick up the call and it will begin to go through a series of questions that, and really we're going to play a demonstration here, that actually sound really high quality. And then at the end of it, it will send you a transcript so you know exactly what that call was about. So Talia, why don't you go ahead, if you can, go ahead and play this demonstration. It's me, but here we go.
Hey, you have reached LeadX 22. How can I help you today?
I'm looking for homes.
Great. I'd love to help you with that. Could I start by getting your name, please?
Yes, my name is John Collins.
Just to make sure I've got it right. Your name is Johncollins. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Awesome, John. Could you please provide your email address so we can contact you?
Yes, it's support@leadx22.com.
Just to make sure I've got it right. Your email address is support@leadx22.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. Now, to help us find the perfect home for you, could you tell me about the specific neighborhoods or areas you're interested in?
Well, we'd like to live in Plano.
Plano sounds like a great choice. What's your price range or budget for the home?
About 600,000.
Got it, 600,000. When are you hoping to purchase and move into your new home?
Oh, as soon as possible.
All right, aiming for a quick move. What type of home are you looking for? Like a single family, townhouse, condo, or something else?
Definitely a single family.
Single family it is. How many bedrooms and bathrooms do you need at a minimum? Any
Uh,
preferences beyond that?
5 bedroom, 4 bath.
Got it, 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Is outdoor space important to you, like a patio or garden?
Yes, we'd like to have a pool.
A pool sounds fantastic. Are good schools a priority for your family, or do you need to be in a specific school district?
Yeah, I'd like to find an excellent school district in Plano somewhere.
Great, we'll focus on excellent school districts in Plano. Have you already been pre-approved for a mortgage?
No, I haven't talked to anyone.
No worries, we can help guide you through that process too. Thank you for sharing all this information, John. A team member will reach out to you shortly with more details on homes that match your preferences. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And there it is. So now what happens is you get an email with a complete transcript of that conversation so that when you call this client back, you will know exactly what they're looking for. So that is the future. And that client now feels as if they've been taken care of because they've given their information. You know what they're looking for. You call them back. Hey, Mr. Collins, we got your message. We have some great 5-bedroom, 4-bath houses for you with some pools. Hey, when can we get together? So those are the type of things, and that is just scratching the surface of what we're doing. AI can also respond to comments on your social media posts, can also respond to Google reviews automatically. So I hope you found that interesting. Talia, you can put up my contact information on the screen if you'd like, but I would love to get together with you 20 minutes. I'll show you what all the system can do. It is really, it is a CRM on steroids. So thank you, everyone. This has been amazing.
Wow, my goodness. You were right when you said I am the future. Where you been all my life, John? Guys, let's light up that chat for everyone that has come through so far. Carly, Marissa, and John, I mean, you took it to a higher level for real. Like, wow. And we've got people on social media watching, and we've got obviously our guests here, but I can't wait. I've got questions for all of you. And so I can't wait for us to do a little fireside chat, but take it away, Dali.
Yes, let's give it up for John from the future. My goodness, that was incredible. Thank you so much for sharing. And Lucy and I was messaging on in our private message. We're like, wow, we need to level up for sure. Right, Lucy?
I said to Dali, I said, we are in kindergarten. But you know, here's the deepest, if I can have a heart to heart moment, if I can be as transparent and vulnerable as I'm sitting here listening to each one of my expert advisors. First of all, gratitude is just like Niagara Falls, just coming from within me, because I mean, you guys could all have said no. And even though we face some bumpy rides and twists and turns, you know, you guys are here. So gratitude. But I said, look at what we're creating. We don't know the people that are going to be watching this and the value that they're going to receive from this, because each and every one of you have been so authentic, so unique. So I'm just sitting here saying, wow, there is a magic that happens when you dare. There's a magic that happens when you take that leap of faith. And I'm just sitting in awe because I'm like, we did not rehearse this. If anything, you guys know I've got 3 speeds: fast, faster, and fast and furious, right? So
Yeah.
with me, it's like, you know, you come on board with me, you say yes to me, you grab my coattail, and we're going on a, you know, velocity ride, like in Busch Gardens, or, you know, one of those crazy roller coasters. But wow, God is so good. You guys are so great, and you deserve to have this time, and you deserve for the whole nation to hear you. And thanks to John, which we've never really met in person, right? But thanks to that obedience that I had to that voice that told me show up to that training, and my reaching out to John and asking him for some guidance, right, as a student, and him accepting this invitation, you know, we're all here and we're learning and we're creating something that we may not yet see the result, because John's the one that said, Lucy, I want to help you guys go nationwide. There's no reason why this has to remain in Southwest Florida. So thank you, John. Thank you, Carly. Thank you,
Welcome. You're
Marissa.
welcome. Thank you so much.
We're going to have plenty of time for our next expert advisor. So take it away, Tali.
Yes, so imagine just gathering all of everything that you've learned so far, between the networking, the follow-up, the conversations, the automation, and then also pairing it up with your social media presence, right? Like, going out there and showing the world what you're doing. And the next person that's coming on is gonna shine some light on social media and how to really leverage that in your business. So without further ado, if everyone can give me a nice, warm, virtual welcome to Crystal Samuels. Hi, Crystal, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing well. Thanks
Good,
for
take it
having
away.
me. I'm so excited to be here. As everyone knows, they call me the business development maven, but social media is how I leverage my businesses. Social media is big, it's something big to me. Everything everybody's doing on this call and everything everybody spoke about, we're all using it in our businesses in one way or another. And if you just take away one or two things from each individual on this call, it's gonna change your business. You're just gonna boom, I'm telling you. And I use social media in a lot of different ways. And I know social media is like a big monster if you're new to the industry, or maybe you possibly don't know how much you can do with it. A lot of people, or some people may feel it's just about posting here or there, posting pictures, but it's a lot more to that. Social media is your numbers in your platform and who you want to reach. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to build traction to your website? Are you trying to promote your events? Are you trying to get in front of more people? Are you trying to, just virtually network with others? We're not going to be able to meet every single person every single day, but we do network in person, like Marissa touched on. And then you can also network virtually through social media. Both of those things together, you can reach a lot more people than you intended to. So I wanted to talk about just to focus on targeted ads and maybe boosting a few of your posts, because social media, like I said, is very broad. There's so many things you can do with it, but creating targeted ads and boosting your posts really is helpful in your businesses, depending on exactly where you want to go and what you want to do with them. So when you create a targeted ad, it's mobile friendly because you can do it right on your cell phones. It's cost effective. Let's be real. A lot of us don't have a gold mine or a pot of gold sitting around. So we have to do things that benefits us, and it's in a cost effective way. So when you do a targeted ad, you can choose how much you're going to put towards your ad. For example, you can create a targeted ad and say you want to reach 4,000 people. So that'll be like $8 for 3 days. But if you want to reach like 37,000 people, you're going to boost it up a little bit to like maybe $23 for a couple of days. So it really depends how many people you want to reach, what exactly are you promoting, what posts do you want to focus on. You have to really be intentional with what it is exactly that you want to do with your social media accounts and how is it going to benefit you. So let's say we're focusing on a listing. You want that listing to reach as many people as possible. So you create a targeted ad so it increases your visibility. You're going to make sure that it's cost effective. So let's say we start off with $20 a day just to see how far you reach. You're going to be able to focus on your business pages and keep track of that information in your Meta Business Suite. I'm not going to go into that because Meta is a whole nother conversation. But my number is by my name, and you can always call me, text me. Everybody knows that 24/7 I talk business. And if you guys need me, I'm always there. So let's say we're doing a listing and you want it to be recognized as something new. So we're doing the $20 a day targeted ad. The targeted ad is going to retain all that information for you. And then you're going to create like a jot form with their name, first name, and email. So if anybody's interested in your listing, you're going to get that information automatically sent to you. And then after social media is somebody like John, who's going to be able to create that funnel for you to keep track of who you spoke to, how you're going to keep follow up with them, because following up is extremely, extremely important. Now, let's say creating a targeting ad is terrifying you and you're watching, you're like, oh my God, no, I can't. Okay, it's simple. You don't even have to go in your Meta Business Suite account and do a targeted ad if you don't have experience with that. You can just boost one of your ads on your regular social media pages. Now that also works the same way, but you won't be able to create like a jot form to retain their information. Boosting a post is more like increasing your engagement, and then maybe they can directly send you a message through Messenger, something like that. So it's a lot more simpler, but you can still get the information and you can still put out your boosted post like you want to do with your targeted ad. But keep in mind that you cannot boost a post if you tag somebody else. So if Carly and I are doing an event, or Marissa and I, or Lucy and I, or Talia and I, or John and I tag them, it's not going to let me boost, because to Facebook, you're like, okay, she's trying to cheat and get all these other people from their pages. So Facebook's not going to let you do that. So if you post a listing, or if you have an open house or a networking event that you want more people to come to, just boost the flyer on your own and decide how much you want to spend, how many people you want to reach. And I promise you that you're going to get that reach that you want. I have leads call me and they're like, hey, I saw you on social media. You know, I saw that flyer you made, or I watched your video. Like, you guys have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable creating those reels, making those videos, putting yourself out there. We have to make sure that our brand is very visible, our brand is very intentional, and that we get to impact all of those people that we really want to impact, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to build that bigger audience. That's the only way we're going to be able to create that really big visibility platform to be able to get out there. Guys, there's 2 billion people using social media right now. Out of those 2 billion people, how many of them do you know? I'm going to say probably not anywhere near a billion, but you know what? I would like for my post to at least reach maybe 100,000 of them. So at least 100,000 of them clicked on my link, went to my website, or went to my landing page, or checked out my flyer, or checked out my event. And it's really heartwarming when you go to an event and somebody's like, I'm only here because I saw your flyer. I don't know anybody here. That's a perfect opportunity for you to really get to know that person and really bring them into your network. And that's how your network starts to grow with genuine people, because that person really came to that event to literally meet Carly, Lucy, Marissa, John, Thalia. They didn't come to an event because of word of mouth, or you're giving out free food, or, you know, something like that. They came because there was something about you that they saw and what you presented yourself online, and they're like, wow, that is somebody that I'm really going to connect with. She's somebody that I may need. Maybe you posted something that they don't know anything about, or they're a little scared, but because you believe in yourself, your confidence is really going to showcase on your online platform. I always tell everybody, your secret sauce is you. We all have secret ingredients to who we are as people, but all of our recipes are so different in how we are created. If we all took those ingredients, we'll make one badass cake. Like, we're all just badass in our own way, in our own businesses. We all bring so much to the table. But I'm telling you, through targeted ads and boosting your posts on social media, if you're having problems with getting more people to your events, if you're having problems with maybe showcasing your open houses more to connect with certain people, utilize your social media platform, okay? And I know a lot of you feel, you know, social media is fake and people are just posting whatever. And you know what? It is easier for people to post their accomplishments on social media. And maybe people want that extra recognition because it makes them feel good. Hey, we're all human. We're not perfect. But at the same time, social media will help you scale your businesses and leverage where it is you want to get to. You have to really understand the numbers and keep track of those numbers. I have 6 to 7 businesses that I'm working with right now for social media management. And I'm telling you, we meet once a week. We meet once a week. And the difference in their numbers, that once a week, is insane, because you've never thought that so many people can literally follow your business and follow you, and you can get leads from just utilizing your social media platforms, because so many people are used to having those in-person conversations. And let's be real, our schedules are crazy. Everybody knows my calendar is color-coded. My mom life, my work life, my everything life has a different color. And I'm used to that. But sometimes I can't always meet with everybody in person. So I have to use my social media accounts to be able to retain that percentage of people that I can't always get to on a daily basis. You have to follow through and touch your people, just like you have to touch your leads a couple times before they actually go through. It's the same situation, whether you're in person or online. But I'm telling you guys, it really, really, really does work. And if you want to schedule a meeting with me so I can explain it to you in depth, so you can understand how to create targeted ads and boosted ads, please text me, call me, save my number. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Wow.
I just hired
That was
Crystal.
awesome.
I just hired Crystal to work with me. And what brings to mind, if I can interject this just for a second, Lucy, we can't all be good at everything. Okay. I'm good at the CRM stuff, but I stink at social media. So I brought Crystal in to build up my business in that area. And you need to realize what areas you're weak in and you need help in. So I just want to throw that out there.
Absolutely, I agree. This is like, I mean, I feel like a volcano ready to erupt. I feel like we are leading into something more powerful, and we are, right? And we are, because I know Dalia is going to be giving me an opportunity to have a fireside chat with someone, but we've got 3 minutes. So I don't know if I can bring you guys up. I have some questions because I'm like John. I take notes, I write. So, the brain, it doesn't matter how millennial, how futuristic we become, the brain still works the way the brain was intended to work, and writing helps us capture that much more. So, Talia, do you think we could bring up real quick Carly? I don't know if we
Yes.
can pin her. I believe that we may be able to, and I don't know, somebody could tell me on the live stream on social media if you'll see Carly. I wanted to ask her a quick question. So Carly, come join me. Let's see. Let's pin Carly
She's pinned.
here. Okay, let me see. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see both of us? Yes. Carly, you were talking about things working in the business and working on your business, right? And I loved when you said about prospecting daily, and I loved when you said about come to my office, and as you prospect, I'll prospect. And I'm like, I need to go to her office. I need some focused time, because then when we were talking about what Marissa was talking about, I meet so many people. I'm putting so much stuff out there. I need to follow up with my people. And I don't have that space and that place to do that. Break that down in 60 seconds, a little bit more, because you went over it pretty quick, but I think that's so valuable for every business person to understand what's working in the business and what's working on the business.
So working in your business is when you're actively in your business. So you're showing houses, you are prospecting, you're making phone calls, you're answering emails, you're doing revenue generating activities. That's working in your business. Working on your business is when you are, one of the things that's really important is keep your space organized. Organizing your space, decluttering, going through your CRM and clean up your database, making your email campaigns, adding people to your drips, whatever you need to do behind the scenes on your business. That is working on your business. And I schedule time during my week. So I work in my business and I work on my business. So I make sure that I keep everything on track so that when I'm working in my business, it's not a bumbled mess. I have papers not everywhere. I have, I'm organized and everything is controlled chaos. And that's the difference between working in your business and on your business. And they're both very, very important to having a successful business.
Well, the people that paid to be here today, those that invested in themselves, are going to have an opportunity to have a one-on-one with one of our expert advisors. So I think that in itself is so valuable, because that is one of our biggest challenges, is we are not organized, or we are not as organized. And you said something that was like a ding, 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 ding. I call it the golden hour. I learned it from my coach, Eric Worre, and it's on Sunday nights, because that's really when you should organize your week. So what time do you do your golden hour? That's what I call it, golden hour.
I do it after the kids are in bed, after the dogs have fed and they've been out and it's just quiet. I'll have a glass of wine, sit down on my calendar, and it's usually about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night on Sunday night. I've got my clothes ready. I've got everything set up for the week, and I get my calendar and I say, okay, these are the events I've got. This is what I need to do. And I just literally, I don't go past that. I go 1 week, look at everything, including that next weekend. And that's when I do even my family things. I meal
I love
prep,
it.
or I plan out my menus, write it down, text the kids, this is what we're eating this week. If you don't like something, let me know. But that's how we do it.
Talk about
Yeah.
we need to dissect this more. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you guys, but I need some of Carly in my life, because I'm organized and I'm very structured, but there's always that higher level. So I love that, Carly. There's so much more we can talk about. I want to bring Marissa up real quick. because thank you, Carly. She said something that really, stuck with me. So if we could bring Marissa up, I don't know how we're doing that. We're in the background, the front. I mean, we're doing all kinds of crazy stuff here. So can we, let me see, add a pin to Marissa? Okay, can everybody?
Everyone, yep, they should see both of us.
Okay, here we go. Marissa, I
Yes.
wrote down, you talked about 3 layers of relationships. And I think we all start at the first layer where it's all about me. I go to an event, it's all about me. I go to a class, it's all about me. Me, right? We come in with that mercenary mindset where we're like beggars. But you said the third layer. And I just went through that lesson in the year 2000. Because in the year 2000, believe it or not, I still had a lot of that. I could get this done myself. I don't need nobody. Like get on, get off, or get out of the way because I'm coming through. That's just the way my DNA is built. That I'm just a go-getter. I'm a super achiever. I'm an immigrant into the United States. So I come from seeing that hustle in my parents. And then you talked about the follow-up, and I'm like, oh my God, I meet so many people. I'm doing so much stuff. I'm doing events. I'm talking, I'm walking, I'm breathing, business, but I'm flopping on the follow-up. How could you help someone like me? Because if Lucy Quinones is flopping on the follow-up, listen, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 other people that is flopping on the follow-up. How do you make how does that work? Break it down.
Yeah, I mean, we all flop on the follow-up, right? If you're doing it the right way, you're going to flop on the follow-up because you're just connecting with that many people. But it's kind of like Carly said, where you're planning your week, but then I also do a plan tomorrow today. And so making sure that you're actually scheduling out time to be intentional to do those outreaches, right? Even if it's a simple, hey, it was great to meet you, or hey, hope you have an amazing week, right? Just making that part of your normal routine. Yes, there's going to be things that are systematized that the system's going to drip on them, if you will, but you still have to have that personal touch. So for me, it's all about getting in my calendar, reviewing all the business cards that I collected from
Okay.
that week, right? And so if we're talking specifically networking, so if we use the model of what Carly shared, right? Sunday nights is my nights where I usually do my review. I fill my calendar for the week, but I look at all those business cards that I have. And if I would, I know I showed my stack last time, it's grown
Yes.
since then, but I actually just hired a second assistant who she has all my business cards right now and she's inputting them into an Excel spreadsheet for me. So like that, now I can be more intentional about going back. So like that, when I need to outreach to realtors, now I can immediately go to this list and okay, who are all the realtors that I'm connected to? Who are all the loan officers that I'm connected to? Who are all of the builders and all of the this and all of the that? Now I've got it all in one place, right? But now as I'm continuing to go through my week, throughout the night before, I'm setting specific time during the day, even if it's 30 minutes, taking 30 minutes to just intentionally outreach individuals, to do a
I need to
check-in,
do that.
wishing them they have a great week, right? And then it's like Carly said too earlier, are you sending out those holiday letters? Are you sending out birthday letters? I know you just got a birthday card from us, right? And so
Yes,
you
I
can
did. I thought that
leverage
was so amazing.
you can leverage the futuristic things that John talks about to help you to remember to have those touch points, because you're not always going to remember because there are so many things that fight for our attention. But if
Yes.
you can even set just 15 minutes to 30 minutes on a daily basis to just reach out to
Yes.
those people, to do those check-ins, wish them an amazing week. Go on social media. This is a little nugget that's
Love
extra
it. Love it.
that I
Okay,
do.
go ahead.
Yeah,
30
this last
seconds. You got
nugget.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Birthdays. If you say happy birthday every single day to the people on your social media, you're going to have touched every single person on your friends list in 365 days. How powerful is that? The end.
I need some more Marissa in my life. Let's hear. Real quick, John, I have to ask you something. So let's pin John real quick because I want to highlight on this, because if I am seeing the value and I'm feeling the need to know more about this stuff, let's go ahead. Okay, John is here with us. John, my friend, I am so blessed that you accepted my crazy invitation. You are the future. You are the future, and I am going to make sure that I put you on turbo boost. Forget about Facebook boosting, turbo boost, right? Because I think I'm a doer. I'm a doer. But you said if you're not staying in touch, this is so powerful. Oh my Lord. If you're not staying in touch with your clients, somebody else is. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, wow. We're
Yes.
so focused on new business.
Yeah.
That was so powerful. And then you
In
also talked
our
about,
industry,
Mhm.
60% of our business comes from past clients.
I think 2025, I have to go back and do a lot of plowing of my lead. You have no idea. My database is so huge. And obviously, you're helping me automate stuff.
Yeah,
But guys, if you are, I'm telling you, we are sitting on a gold mine and we have not even understood. So, John, thank you
absolutely.
for reminding me of that. I want you to, everyone that can relate to what I just covered with John, give me a number 5 in the chat, whether you're on Facebook Live or whether you're on here. If we're not staying in touch with our people, somebody else is, you
Yep.
know? And I'm all about
I think the way it goes, Lucy, is if you're not staying in touch with your past client, there's somebody else's prospect. I think that's the way the actual quote goes, but the meaning's the same.
yeah.
You best be in touch with them.
Yes.
They better remember your name.
Say my name, say my name.
Say my name. That's right.
Like,
So,
wow, John.
and it's so easy. They're warm leads. These are people you have relationships with already.
I'm telling you, I know it's so simple, it's hard, John.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
we're all suffering from some type of level of hallucination. And then we sit here and we say, I don't have any business. Listen, we need more. Who needs more John in their life? I need more John in my life. All right, Crystal, real quick. I got 60 seconds. Well, no, I got 2 minutes for Crystal. Let's bring Crystal up real quick. Okay, Crystal, girl, you have brought revelation to my life with the insights. I mean, you have shown me how to even read these things. And um, I want to ask you a question because if I don't know it, other people may not know it. You said targeted ads and boosting.
Mhm.
Can you talk to me like I'm in 3rd grade and tell me what
Okay.
the difference is and which one works better?
Okay, so it really depends on what you want to get out of it. Okay, so let's say like you created a brand new website, nobody knows about it, and you want to get as many links as you can and as much exposure as you can and increase your brand visibility to the maximum level that you can get to. So that something like that would be a targeted ad, because a targeted ad lets you be very intentional with your demographics, lets you be very intentional with the location that you would like to get, but it also lets you create that job form that's going to retain their first name, last name, their email address, and their phone number, that you're going to know as soon as that person clicks your website and they fill out your form, there goes your first warm lead already. Somebody you can talk to and explain what your brand is, what you bring to the table, what, increase your visibility just by them going and clicking on your website. So a targeted ad really is for, like I said, like your website or something very
So you
intentional.
choose an audience. So that's the one where you go in and you say, I want to run an ad, and then Facebook tells you yay or nay or whatever. And then you say, I want, people within this age range and this age range and, one radius from whatever area. That's a targeted ad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the boosted ad is the one that comes out on the bottom that says you want to boost this.
Yeah.
Now, which one works better?
So they both work great. It really depends. So I do a lot of the boosted ads for pushing out any flyers, any events that are already established where you have an Eventbrite link for or a Facebook event set up. You're going to keep boosting it at least a couple times a week. It's going to increase your visibility throughout your Facebook pages.
Wow.
So that's what I use the boost for. It's a lot more simpler. You don't put the job form attached to it. That's more like just increasing awareness as a whole for whatever you're doing.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and I'm sure that other people have questions about this stuff as well. And that's why I wanted to do this quick, maybe 2 minutes per
Right.
person, fireside chat. But Talia, we got to move on. And I can't believe we are now at the last 30 minutes of I'm only gonna have 2 minutes for our next guest, which was really a divine intervention, if I can call it that way, right? For whatever reason, but I always believe that there's someone else that is more in control than me. I just get to, you know, get in the driver's seat. But what are you thinking about this so far? Like, I'm sitting here thinking we should be doing this every week. Like, we should be talking about this stuff every week. What else are we doing, being busy doing what? This, reaching the world, because Crystal said 2 billion people are on social media. And our collective genius and the collective power that we have here, we should be doing this every week. So get ready.
Incredible. Well, let's go ahead and pin our next guest, Jeremy Rodriguez, to the stage. Welcome,
He is in the
Jeremy.
house. Let's see. Where is Jeremy? Oh, here we go. Let's see. There we go.
Yes.
Wow, Jeremy, it's so good to see you. Let's make sure that everyone can see Jeremy. Can put a number 10 in the chat. We are about to get recharged with this incredible human that thanks to Marissa and her networking, right? Honor to who honor is due and credit to credit is deserved. Marissa invited you to our last, I believe, Southwest Florida Real Estate Mastermind Network event, and you drove for several hours to come. And God had planned for you to come and speak to this audience today. And you accepted the invitation. And this is where I say, guys, our life is meant to be lived by design. We are self-sabotaging, including myself. I'm the first one to raise my hands and say, yes, I'm still hallucinating in some areas. I'm still thinking lack. I'm still being that little girl that grew up being programmed the way I was. I'm still that human that has gone through the fire, gone through hell. You know, I'm still that human that has to every single day reprogram my mind, my heart, my soul, my spirit, and remind myself that there is greatness on the inside of me, that I was born for something great. Thank you so much for being here, Jeremy. We're so blessed to have you.
Of course.
And my topic was our bounce back. I'm saying this is our bounce back moment. I believe it's time for us to bounce back. It's time for us to rise up, show up, level up, and fire up, because there's people that are waiting for us to be the one, first and foremost, our family. But we are still stuck. And we're still lost. And we're still having sometimes pity parties and woe is me reunions.
Right.
Help us become that human God called us to be. The
Yeah.
floor is yours. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Jeremy.
Of course. Thank you so much. First of all, I feel more like a participant than anything in this mastermind, right? Just seeing how much value has been added, seeing people that are really doing the work behind the scenes, and people that are an asset to the world, right? I don't think people like you guys could ever get appreciated enough. We exhaust our efforts. We have to overcome so much internal turmoil just to be able to add value to somebody else's life. So the fact that you guys are willing to make that consistent sacrifice, I'm honored to be on this platform with you guys, and I really appreciate you guys just really pouring into my cup today. So thank all of you for that. So I want to start with a short story. I had a conversation with the gentleman, and me and him were going back and forth on business and what's going on with his business. And as he's sharing his experience, he tells me, he keeps bringing up how people don't want to get help. He's like, you know what, Jeremy, is I'm showing up on social media, I'm doing my marketing, I'm doing my ads, I'm doing everything, but it's like nobody wants to get help nowadays. And I told him, I want you to really think about what you're saying. If you genuinely believe that nobody wants to get help, how can you attract people that want to get help?
Wow.
So I told him the root cause of your issue is that you have a belief that people don't want to get help. So until you don't rip out that root and you don't program a different belief, you're going to continue to attract those people. So I like to look at the world, the universe, the law of attraction, manifestation. I like to look at it like we're being supported 100% of the time. We're manifesting 100% of the time. Intentionally or unintentionally, it's still going on. So guys, what I've realized is that with so much beautiful information out there, we have access to so much greatness. I want to focus more on the how to, because anybody can say, you know, you got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself, but we have to truly understand what does that actually mean, right? So what I did is I told them, how about we pick apart this belief? And he's like, how do we do that? I said, I'm going to help you break down how to really program a new belief so that your brain and your subconscious mind can start working for you rather than against you. So if you want to modify any belief, whether it's for your body, whether it's for your relationship, whether it's for your business, your finances, the first thing that we have to do is we have to identify what is the current belief. How do we identify the current belief? We look at our reality. If you're in a relationship that you really are not genuinely happy with, that's an example on what's happening with your belief system. If your body is really not where you genuinely want it to be, the root cause of that is that there's a deficit with your belief system. And just to give you an example with just your body, right? We grow up, especially in our Spanish cultures, we grow up that if you're chunky and you got big cheeks, you're glorified. People don't realize when you grow up as an adult and you're not getting attention, but you get glorified for being chunky as a kid, that connection is what you're after. So you allow yourself to sabotage your health by being chunky because subconsciously you've been programmed that you're going to get attention when you're cute, not realizing that being cute and chunky as a baby is not the same thing as being cute and chunky as an adult. That's just a simple thing that is mind-blowing that we practice every single day without us realizing it. So I told him, okay, now that we've identified this belief that's contaminating your future, what do we want the new belief to be? I told him, what if people are knocking on your door desperate for your service because of how much you can help them? So the new belief for him is going to be, people just cannot stop raving about my service and they cannot stop knocking at my door.
Wow.
As I was telling him that, wow, look at God is talking because it's pouring out now, right outside right now. As I was telling him that, he started to cry, and he's like, I never really looked at it like this. And I'm like, you're so disconnected from your reality, and you don't even know it, which is why you're having such a hard time day to day with motivation. So once we identify the new belief, now we have to really gain some type of evidence, right? Who's actually practicing this belief and is creating for real, and not just talking about it. So what I've learned, and I'm sure you guys, if you're in this industry of personal development or helping other people, there's somebody that has already done what we're trying to do. So a lot of times we're trying to reinvent the wheel. But I noticed that if I'm trying to reinvent the wheel, I'm operating my business through ego. Somebody else is already passing the baton. I just have to be open-minded enough to understand the evidence that they're giving me. So like, for example, if you're a realtor and you really want to gain real business, who's really doing great in your industry? What are they doing? Find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people that are doing phenomenal. Extract what they're doing. I'm talking about immerse into their process, immerse into their journey, truly study them, really see what's going on. And then you take out the lessons that you want. But here's the most important part. You put your spin on it. Because what people don't realize is that everybody wants to be a copycat, but you got to copy the right cat. And ultimately, you're the one that has the final say on how you're presenting yourself to the world. So I'm extracting lessons from Tony Robbins. I'm extracting lessons from Zig Ziglar. I'm extracting lessons from Bob Proctor. But at the end of the day, the way I deliver the message is what God has naturally have given me. I have a passion and an energy and an approach that's very different than a lot of people. So taking those lessons of modeling and then putting your own twist to it. So then once you're doing that you're like, oh, wait a minute. There's no such thing as a drought in real estate, because while there's a drought, this person is making millions every year. So it's not real for real estate. It's only real for me. So how can I make this not real for me and I can make a different reality, because I'm actually seeing somebody that's creating a different reality. And when you do that, what happens, guys, is that it allows you to no longer justify, and it allows you to no longer give yourself permission to self-sabotage. Because if we continue to babysit this idea that there's a drought in real estate, there's a drought in business, there's all these things that are going on in the economy, whatever story we're connecting to our mind is going to be the story that's going to serve as the wall of China that's going to continue to reiterate our reality. So once I extract these lessons and I'm like, okay, I'm gaining a little bit of confidence because I'm seeing that the reality that I actually want, somebody's already living it. That's giving me that, okay, there's possibility here. So then the next phase is, and this is so important, and I'm going to talk about visualization even greater towards the end of this. We have to truly visualize this new belief as if this new belief is real. And here's the advantage that we have as human beings. The brain doesn't understand the difference between fake and real. So the fact that we can truly manipulate and wire our brain and our neurons in a different way so that we can start to create a different reality, that's our competitive advantage. You see, a lot of times what I noticed, and this was my thing, we're trying to change an effect with an effect. We have to change an effect with a cause. The cause is the internal, the effect is the byproduct of the internal. So life is a window, it's not a mirror. At the end of the day, when we're looking at our reality is only indicating what's happening within us, right? So we have to change the cause within us so that the effect can be different. So when it comes down to this visualization piece, right, a lot of times this is the thing that I've struggled with, and I didn't understand that I was struggling with. You would hear visualization, you would hear visualization, you would hear visualization, but I'm like, what does it actually mean to visualize? What does it mean, right? Is it a thought? Is it imagination? What does it mean? Visualization is truly being able to see that desired reality through this pineal gland that communicates with the universe. So when we're talking about being woke, we have a third eye. When people are talking about the third eye, what they're saying is your pineal gland is active and you're aware that it's active. So when I was visualizing, I thought that I had to visualize through the back. I thought that I had to visualize through the front. And what I realized is that I had to start visualizing through this pineal gland. But this is the X factor that I've learned. And I promise you guys, this is what has taken me from not getting somebody in through my door to give me a testimonial. I was offering my service for free for somebody to give me a testimonial. I couldn't get somebody through the door to now, thankfully, by the grace of God, I'm now averaging $127,000 to $150,000 a month. I'm almost effortlessly understanding this. When you really realize that the universe is operating off of energy, when you really truly understand that we are all products of vibration and frequency, we stop working so hard and we start working smarter. Wow. So when I uncovered this whole visualization piece, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm doing it right, but I'm doing it right to the wrong things. I didn't know how to visualize the right things, but when it came down to the wrong things, ooh, I was a master at visualizing struggle. I was a master at visualizing lack. I was a master at visualizing fear. I was a master at visualizing a struggling bank account. I was a master at visualizing a really, really unhealthy body. I was a master. So I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing it right. I just been applying it to the wrong things. And then when I attempted to apply it to the right things, I overthought because of my limiting beliefs.
Wow.
I'm giving you guys a second to digest this because I know that sometimes that could be a lot. I just have so much passion for humans because most of us are truly not tapping into not even a third of our potential that God has given us. God made us infinite and we all have a God within that's waiting to be unleashed, and we're here to unleash that baby. We're here to truly unleash what we have internally that has already been given to us, and it's our birthright.
Yes. Yes.
It's our birthright. So with this visualization piece, follow me, guys, because this is super important. So I'm visualizing through the pineal gland, but this is the thing that I didn't know. I was seeing myself live the experience, but I wasn't in the experience first person. When you're seeing yourself living the experience, you're still detached from the experience. When you start to see yourself through the experience, so I'm going to give you guys a clear example. When I was trying to change my finances, I was seeing myself go to my phone, open up my text messages, and see the Zells coming in. I was going through this pineal gland. I was going into my email. I was seeing the invoices being paid. Through this, I was seeing people. I was literally visualizing people going into my inbox and literally knocking on my door, begging me because they wanted my service so bad. I was already seeing in my brain through my pineal gland. I was genuinely already seeing this waiting list. I was seeing myself and people trying to negotiate with me to give me more because they wanted my service. I had to change. I had to literally change like this entire paradigm. So as I was seeing it is the first piece. Here's the piece that's the most important. We often believe that thoughts create our reality. A thought that's not emotionally charged is only a thought. The feeling is how we communicate with the world. And most of us, and when I tell you this was like, I get emotional thinking about this, because when I realized I was addicted to struggle.
Wow.
I was addicted to poverty.
Wow.
For me, my identity was EBT. My identity was Section 8. My identity was I didn't have enough for McDonald's. My identity was people coming into my home as a kid and taking our furniture because mom couldn't pay for those couches. Wow. Like a lot of times people see how I show up and they don't realize that I had to turn this pain into something. And when I speak with conviction, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm showing you what I've done. So as I'm visualizing and I'm tapping into the feeling, I'm like, every time I would try to associate the feeling with the thought, I would get interruption. Like John said earlier, there would be some type of adversity waiting for me at the forefront, because my brain was like, you're trying to visualize all of this success, but look at your circumstances. How dare you? And I just kept on having to remind myself that who I am is no longer the reality that's meant for me. So every time I would go and try to visualize and I would encounter this resistance, I will slow down, because most of us are going fast, but we're going fast nowhere. So I told myself, if the universe is energy, if the universe is operating off frequency, then why am I chasing? If I'm chasing, I'm in a very low vibration called desire. Mm. So for me, imagine this: struggling with shame because I was not where I wanted to be, struggling with guilt because I'm looking at my kids, they're looking at me as a hero, and I'm looking at myself as a villain because I'm destroying their future because I didn't have the discipline to control my mind. I'm struggling with fear because my whole identity is struggle, but yet I want abundance. So the idea of knowing that I'm going to get judged, I'm going to get ridiculed, I'm going to be considered fake because I no longer want to be associated with my past, just knowing I had to encounter all of that was a challenge. And these are the challenges that we face every single day. And this is why I tell everybody, in order for you to change your business, you must change your business. And your business is really you and not your business. As you start to modify the internal, I promise you the external becomes easy. So I want to get right back on track. We're visualizing, we're seeing it through the pineal gland. We're really in that first person. We're feeling that anytime we encounter any type of adversity, we're stepping back and then we're going back into it. Because we don't want to power struggle. When we power struggle, whatever we resist will persist. I'm not power struggling. I'm going to enjoy this process, because everybody talks about trusting the process, right? When you have to still trust the process, you're lacking conviction. I don't believe in trust. I don't believe in hope. I believe in knowing. When you know that you know that you know that you know, that's a different place. And what the universe likes, what the subconscious mind likes, the subconscious mind likes conviction. Most of us were hopscotching because we don't have true internal conviction in our desired reality, which is why we no longer, we're so completely disconnected from this desired reality. So when we're marrying the emotion, and I want you to think about this for anybody that is a master at overthinking. The reason why we master overthinking is because when the thought and the emotion become one, the thought is not what impacts the feeling. The feeling is what impacts the thought, because the thought is not good or bad. The thought is simply the thought. When based on your perception of this thought, that thought, you're going to associate a certain feeling. Then when the feeling and the thought get together, that's when the feeling affects the thought, and that's when the thought goes 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So once I understood this, I'm like, okay, beautiful. So I know that if I don't associate the right perception to the thought, and I don't associate the right feeling to the thought, then that thought is going to work against me rather than for me. Does that make sense so far? So now that I'm able to finally, okay, I'm looking at this thought, I'm looking at this feeling. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. What's the feeling that we're after?
Mm-hmm.
We know we want more money, or we believe we want more money, but here's the reality. What we want is the feeling that we believe more money is going to provide. That's it. So for me, why don't I start with the end in mind? How about I cut out the middleman? How about I stop needing business to feel good and I just feel good? Because then maybe if I feel good, I will get more business. So to seal this deal with visualization for this component, because then I'm going to dive a little bit deep into the subconscious mind. I want to add massive value. So whenever you guys, I'm running out of time, just say, you're running out of time, but I really want to add value to you guys and to your audience out of respect to Lucy and her mission and what she got going on with her team. I'm visualizing through the pineal gland. I'm in that emotion that I would want if that desired reality was mine. But then this is the thing. In my head, I'm celebrating this new reality. So I'm finding 1, 2, 3 people that I'm actually celebrating with. I'm hugging them, kissing them, high-fiving them. And then what I do is I do this loop over and over and over again. So what happens, guys, is when you're in this beautiful place, because you already believe that your desired reality is yours, you're operating through a different space. And if you're operating through a different space, you're no longer chasing, because why would you chase something that's already yours?
Right.
That makes sense so far with the visualization piece?
Yes.
Beautiful. So if I was to be starting over, all of this is great. If I was to be starting over, how can we expedite the process so that we can get there faster? I'll share with you guys a quick story. I went to go buy myself a car the other day. So I was there in the dealership. The first thing that the guy tells me, oh, what are you looking for? I told him I'm looking for this type of vehicle. He goes, oh, great. So he goes around and he shows me the options that he has. And I told him, I don't want those colors. I want a black one. And he goes, okay, we actually have a black one in the front. So he's showing me the vehicle, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one. So I go into the interior. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at everything, right? So I had a list of how I wanted my car. I told him, so these rims are nice, but I want black ones. I told him, this spoiler is nice, but I don't want the high one. I want more of the lower one. And then for these colors right here, I don't really want it that way. I wanted this color. So he tells me, he was like, wow, you're really detailed in what you want. And I told him, am I? Or is the bar set so low that when you actually come across somebody that knows what they want, it seems flabbergasting because most people don't actually know what they want. So he's like, wow. And it was a lesson for him, right? I just want to put this into perspective. If we're not crystal clear on what we want, how can we visualize something? If we can't visualize something, how can we feel something? So most of the times we're winging life and we're operating like a chicken with our head cut off, not realizing that our life actually has no direction. What does more success mean? What does more money mean? The brain loves clarity. Clarity breeds power. So once I understood that I was too busy winging life, I'm like, this is why you don't get what you want. And this is why it's so easy for you to focus on what you don't want. Your focus has been compromised because you haven't directed your focus in the way that your focus is supposed to be directed. So now that I understand what we want, right? We truly identify what we want. We have to understand the universe has laws. We're operating off of 3 planes. There's a spiritual plane, which a spiritual plane just means we're infinite, right? We're created with no limit. We're the ones that put the limit on us. There's a mental plane, which is what you're entertaining every single day. And then there's the physical plane. Most of us want to change the physical without modifying the mental and the spiritual. So now, what makes this so challenging? Why is change so challenging? Whether it's your relationship, your body, your finances, what's so challenging? What's challenging is that 95% of our behavior is happening unconsciously. So imagine that 95% of our behavior is happening unconsciously, which means if we want to create lasting change and not just momentary change, we have to reprogram this subconscious mind that seems like this big old monster, when in reality, this is your supercomputer that we're supposed to program. Our computer wasn't programmed. Our computer was programmed for us. We didn't do the programming. Unless you're diving deep into your subconscious mind, we haven't really intentionally programmed our mind. So now, what does the subconscious mind like and doesn't like? The subconscious mind doesn't like tension. The subconscious mind doesn't like force. The subconscious mind doesn't like strain. The subconscious mind doesn't like effort. The harder you try, the more resistance the subconscious mind is going to create on you. And the beautiful thing about it is that we're able, unless you're doing hypnosis, we're tapping into the subconscious mind at least, at the very minimum, 2 times a day. That first 5 minutes when we're waking up, and that last 5 minutes when we're going to bed. The wave that we're after is called theta. Theta, we were in theta from 0 to 7 years old. We were observing everything. That absorption is what created our belief. It created our blueprint. It created our subconscious mind. And a lot of times people believe, especially old philosophers, you show me the kid from 0 to 7, and I will show you the adult. So now, what does the subconscious mind does like? It likes relaxation. The subconscious mind loves peace. The subconscious mind loves joy. The subconscious mind loves conviction. So imagine this. Imagine trying to reprogram your subconscious mind, but you have all of this adrenaline because you're thinking about what's in your bank account. Imagine trying to reprogram your subconscious mind, but you have all of this chaos going on because of the type of relationship the type of personal relationship that you have with your partner. Imagine trying to reprogram your subconscious mind, but you have all of this friction from the external world, and you're not even able to prioritize your focus because of how you're practicing your day every single day. So for me, if we're going to reprogram our subconscious mind and we're going to truly create lasting change, we're going to understand what we want. We're going to understand what it's going to feel like to actually have that reality. And then watch this. We have to adopt the secret frequency of not needing. The more we need something and the more important something is for us, the more space we're creating between us and that reality. So when you collapse, in order for us to collapse this reality that we want in any capacity, We have to take that thing, that shiny object off of the pedestal and put ourselves on that pedestal. Because at the end of the day, nothing and no result on this planet is more valuable than you. You are the red shiny object. You're the one that's supposed to be on the pedestal. And the way you put yourself on the pedestal is prioritizing your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your environment, your relationships, your passion, your energy. The more you truly focus on you, the more reason people have to focus on you. The more you focus on other people, the more other people will be running away from you. And when I understood this, I'm like, wow, bro, this whole time you wanted success, you had a worth issue because you didn't even prioritize yourself. You were trying so hard to become successful because you knew that success was going to come with validation. That validation was going to give you some type of significance. So this whole time you didn't focus on you because you thought your success was going to make you, when in reality, you're the only one that could actually make you. And as I started to focus on me and my health and my mental and my energy and all of these things, I became so valuable to the world that value allowed it to be reciprocated to the world. And now, because I am valuable, people have an incentive to be connected to me. And because people have a reason to be connected to me because of the value that I'm adding to their life, because of the value that I added to my life, now I'm valuable enough to be paid and compensated. So that's the subconscious mind. Right? The subconscious mind doesn't like tension. It doesn't like effort. It doesn't like strain. The subconscious mind loves peace. It loves tranquility. It loves calm. It loves to know that you know that you know that you know that you know. Anytime you're doubting yourself, just know, go right back into that subconscious mind and say, I still got to do some programming, right? And then here's a cheat code that helps me a lot. Anytime I'm going to conduct my day, I ask myself, what would the future me do right now? Because this version of me stems from my past, because this is why I'm self-sabotaging. So what would the future me do right now? Okay, the future me would prospect. The future me would cold call. The future me would post. All right, so get out of your feelings, because your feelings are associated directly to your past. And unless you want to create your past over and over, you have to be able to disassociate from your feelings and actually be more logical than emotional. Now, I want to wrap this up with how I was able to go. That was the internal stuff, right? That's like the boring stuff that people don't talk about, that people avoid, but it's why people keep hitting these walls. Now, what I actually did to wrap up for these last 5 minutes is I created an online presence that was more felt than heard. So when you go to my social media, you see me. You don't see ChatGPT. You don't see influencer, you see me. So you may see a video of me acting crazy with my kids wrestling. You may see a video with me talking very passionate in one of my sessions. You may see a video of me, just really pouring my heart out, maybe even crying, but you see me. When you realize that people are craving permission to be themselves because of how many people fear judgment, you start to give yourself permission to be yourself, so that influence can give people permission to also be themselves. So I would show up online, and anytime I would not want to show up online, I would ask myself, who's going to pay the price for my insecurities, my fears, and my doubt? If we want to help, how about we stop thinking about ourselves and we start making about other people? We get so caught up in our feelings, we get so caught up in our thoughts, that in reality, all we have to do is make it about the people. If you love your prospect more than they love themselves, by default, they're going to be embedded to you. And if you think about it, there's only 4 ways to actually get more business outside of agencies. There's cold calling, there's warm outreach, there's social media organic posting, and then there's paid ads. So my thing is that you can't be broke and busy at the same time. That means that you're just doing something that is not working, that's not working for you. If you're truly putting in the effort and you're still broke, we have to really do some analyzing and ask ourselves, am I really being busy being focused, or am I really being busy being distracted? Because most people try to justify, most people think that posting a picture of themselves and getting validation is creating content for somebody else. For me, if you're going to post something, if it's not going to add no value to somebody's life, what are we really doing it for? And I fell into this trap, guys. I fell into this trap where I would post saying that it was about the other person, but deep down inside, I was trying to fill a void within me. When I started to make it about the other person, every time I'm going to attempt to express myself publicly, I ask myself, I'm stealing somebody's time right now. If it's not worth it for them, I'm committing a crime. And it's a crime integrity-wise. It may not be a lawful crime, but it's a crime integrity because I know that I'm going to steal somebody else's attention for my own gain. When in reality, all I got to do is truly, truly, truly fall in love with the individual that I'm looking to help. And I promise you, the people that truly love the person's results is the person that's going to add the most value, that's going to make it less about them and more about the other person. And those are the people that are usually winning. So now, because I've been able to show up online, I've created this personal brand. And all a brand is how are people associating you? Like, okay, so this guy, Jeremy Rodriguez, this guy, like, pretty positive, very vibrant, sometimes loud, sometimes obnoxious. But overall, what you see is what you get with Jeremy. So that's what my brand is about, right? Because I want to give people permission to be themselves and live their authentic life. Who are you? What's your identity? How do you want people to talk about you behind your back? How are you ensuring that you really make people feel like the most valuable human being on the planet when they're in your presence? These are the things that has allowed me to go from a struggling coach to a coach that now has a waiting list, to a coach that is now really living his life fully, and a coach that is just happy. Guys, you know what? To leave this, I want to give people the permission to be happy now. I want to give people, I just want to take this weight off of our shoulders that we have to have a certain house, a certain bank account, certain clothing to feel good. Because it's not about what you have and what you acquire. It's about who you are. And the fact that you guys are already adding massive value to people's life, you guys are trillionaires in character. You guys are trillionaires in integrity. You guys are trillionaires in value. Give yourself permission to be okay with realizing that you're already more than enough. And when you truly operate through those lenses and you get to the point where you no longer need nothing, I promise you that's when you're going to get everything. So just to recap the story on belief systems with my friends, right? To change a belief, identify the old one, identify the new one, gain the evidence, visualize, affirm. And I didn't say this earlier because I wanted to really reiterate the point right now, and repeat. Things are not going to happen physically for a long time, but all manifestation is getting to a degree internally where you're no longer emotionally dependent on reality changing. Once you're no longer dependent on reality changing, by default, your reality is bound to change. So once we are able to modify our beliefs, we gain crystal clarity on what we want. We reprogram our mind with calmness, with joy, with peace, with tranquility. And then we create an online presence where people fall in love with us and not what we do. As long as you're consistent in that approach, there's not a dollar amount that you will not be able to attract. Remember, we no longer chase, we attract. And we attract through feeling, because emotion, energy and motion is what leads to your vibration, which leads to your frequency, which leads to your desired reality. Thank you guys so much for your time.
I'm speechless. I don't know about anybody else, Jeremy, but I am speechless. I'm sitting here in awe. I now know for 1,000% God put this together because it's been all faith built. Our plan did not work out the way we thought it was going to work out. But let me tell you, you showed up just for me. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but you showed up to speak to me, to shed that light. And this is what life is all about. I love the fact, and we have not even spoken about putting this together except for 5 minutes, because I was trusting that I just get to be the vessel. I just get to be the the usher. I'm literally, I'm just the usher. I'm the one that dares to say, yes, we're gonna do this and let's go. And then I told Talia the other day, we're just gonna roll with the punches. It don't matter. Jeremy, I can't thank you enough. There is not a way for me to articulate. You spoke to our soul. You spoke to our spirit. You
Thank
brought
you.
the light. You did.
Thank you so much. And to be honest with you, this is for me, I try to do my best to represent God to the best of my ability because I understand that He made me limitless. And uh for anybody that still struggles with fear, with doubt, with worry, just know that maybe you can let yourself down, right? Maybe you can continue to sabotage yourself. But one of the frameworks that really helps me is that how can I say I believe in God but practice fear at the same time? How can I say that I glorify my almighty limitless God, but yet I'm constantly doubting myself? So when you get to the point where you get sick and tired of being a hypocrite and you truly make this experience for yourself a spiritual one, that's when you're gonna tap into a different limit. So anytime I have fear in my head, God didn't make me afraid. Why is the human trying to take control? Let me give the control back to God. When I'm experiencing doubt, God, this is you, this is not me. And it just allows me to continue to overcome the daily wear and tear because the daily wear and tear is inevitable, right? The challenges with the thoughts, the challenges with the emotions, life happens every single day. Even though, like Lucy says, it happens for us, not to us, but the reality is it's still happening. And being able to be mentally resilient in your pursuit to success is something that I think we underestimate. So I'm truly honored. I am sweating, which I know that God is here with us. I'm truly grateful, and I just want you guys to know that without you, your ears, your eyes, your attention, I would have no purpose. And because of you guys being here listening to me, I'm able to live a fulfilled life in an assignment that was given to me by my Creator. So I'm grateful for all of you. I hope that I have added massive value to your life. And if I can extend the invite to explore more personal development, some of those limiting beliefs, I'm here for it, right? Life coaching is not what I do, it's who I am because I genuinely love people. I've suffered my way to this point, and my goal is to help people suffer less, break those financial ceilings, and truly master their mental health. So Lucy, thank you so much
I
for this.
love it. Jeremy, I want to ask you a quick question because I had an opportunity with each one of these amazing expert advisors that are just gifting. I guess I just brought them to an arena of you're just going to be selfless and we're going to give it away. So come join me. This morning, I had this thought, and I know it was more of an inspiration, an intuition. I know it was God really speaking to me and through me. So it was a thought. Lucy, you are addicted to struggle. And you came and said exactly the same words.
Oh.
Because this morning I said, why am I looking for things to make things more complicated? Can you break that down? Because I think there's an epidemic of
Yes.
struggle addiction, of hustle addiction.
Mhm.
There is an epidemic. Like there is a full force war against people that have a purpose, that have a mission, but we just continue to put ourselves back in the hustle, the struggle. I'm addicted to struggle, and you're going to help me get unaddicted
For
because I
sure.
want to be unaddicted. Break that down for us.
So the first thing is what you have done is you've identified that you're addicted to struggle, right? So I want you, like, I'm gonna put on my coaching hat and I want to ask you, what would be the very opposite of that?
Just flowing, just flowing, just conviction that I don't have to struggle, that
Right.
everything is easy, that it flows, that I'm in a bliss. that I
Right.
deserve to be blissful every single day.
Right. So now instead of being addicted to struggle, now we're enjoying the process. So the new belief is that I get to enjoy my process. You can't enjoy your process and be addicted to struggle at the same time. So you have to be able to pick one. The only reason why we became addicted to struggle is because that's what we experience so much. So us struggling is literally our identity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now I'm changing my identity. I'm freeing myself up from this incarceration because this is no longer who I am. This is who I was. I am now a person that lives freely. I enjoy my process. And anytime I find myself in a position where I want to sabotage because I believe that things have to be difficult for me to be able to create, I'm gonna stop myself. I'm going to disconnect from that process. And then I'm going to remind myself of this new belief that no, I'm no longer going to struggle through this process. I'm going to enjoy this process because I'm no longer addicted to it.
Can I share something with you? So
Absolutely.
this week I faced a very unexpected challenge, right? But I knew God let it happen to show me something greater and something bigger. But obviously, like you just said, life happens. No one escapes. No one escapes life and those unexpected moments. And I said, okay, this is not happening to me, it's happening for me. What is it going to show me? What is the lesson? What can I take from this? What is the fortune and the most valuable thing that I can take from this? And obviously, I've been through this process the last 3 days. And yesterday, because of course I'm in the middle of I've got so much on my plate, and everybody depends on me, and I still want to fulfill this because you said, who are you, right? Who are you? Who are we? And I know I am light. I am light. I was created to encourage and light the path for others to get to where they deserve to get to, like I'm getting to where I deserve to get. So, I am light, but of course, there's challenges. So yesterday, I found myself in a situation where it was like one thing after the other on top of me. When you have so much pressure on you that it starts building up, and I did exactly that. I got up, I grabbed my stuff, and I removed myself because now I'm no longer hallucinating. I realized that is no longer me. I'm not going to, I'm not going to get into a rabbit hole with stress and the stuff I don't want to know. That's no longer me. And that's why I can tell you, and that's why I opened up talking about our bounce back, because everybody wants to have their glory, but you're going to have to go through a story. And what you just coached me on is remove yourself. That's what I did. Then I came back, and that pattern had been broken. But I know the old Lucy, she would have gone head on, and she would have created an even bigger, more stressful, more difficult, more chaotic, because and how many times do we go into these rabbit holes?
Oh my God. I want to share a couple of things if you guys don't mind, and respect it to all of your time, so the first thing is that people are really experiencing a lot of stress, right? And people are having stress induced strokes because of how much pressure they got going on. I'm seeing it time and time again, especially with entrepreneurship. So here's what I realized. If we could change our perception on stress, it would change our experience with stress. So I like to replace the word stress with opportunity. Rather than me getting emotionally invested negatively with an experience, the only thing that can truly sustain happiness is growth. So anytime I encounter any type of opposition, rather than looking at it like, oh my God, this is a stressful situation, and engaging emotionally, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at this opportunity and who do I have to become to overcome this opportunity that's not only going to create a better version of myself, but it's also going to allow me to sustain my happiness, because the growth is what's going to ensure the happiness, right? That's layer number one, because what people don't realize is that the reason why we stress about our processes is because we're addicted to negative emotions. So when we're experiencing a process, we're able to physically, like something, when something is tangible, we're able to justify who we actually are emotionally because we all have an emotional home. This is the stuff that I love more than anything, right? Like at the end of the day, is like, okay, for example, this happened. If you're an angry person, this is just going to allow you to justify that you're angry. If you're a grateful person, if you're a joyful person, if you're a peaceful person, everything outside of you is just going to remind you of who you are until you change your emotional home. So mind you, I went from anxiety, depression, and anger. So any situation that I would encounter, it would lead me to those emotions. And once I truly changed my emotional home and I made it a non-negotiable to be peaceful, I made it a non-negotiable to be joyful, I made it a non-negotiable to be grateful. Now there's nothing outside of me that's going to infiltrate me. That's number one. And I want to leave you, I want to give you this nugget, because this is going to be what people are going to truly encounter. We are all operating on patterns. Right? We are all going to operate off patterns. So all of this is going to be great. When you go into the real world, it's like, bam, you're going to encounter opposition. So to be good, we want to be able to recognize the pattern. Okay, I noticed that when I speak to this person, I get into this mood. I notice that when I'm prospecting, I get into this energy. I notice that when somebody tells me no, I feel this way. So when you can recognize the pattern, that's the first layer. To be great, you start to anticipate the pattern. You know what? I know that whenever I speak to mom, whenever I speak to dad, whenever I speak to my partner, I get into this certain mode, this certain energy. So I'm going to mentally prepare myself how I'm going to conduct myself based on who I'm becoming, not who I've been, because I don't want to keep experiencing the same thing. So I gotta change the approach. So to be good, you can recognize the pattern. To be great, you can anticipate the pattern. To be elite, like you guys all are, you must be able to change the pattern. And when you could change your pattern at will, because how attentive you're being to your behaviors, to your thoughts, to your emotions, that's when you can truly control yourself. Most people are trying to design themselves without having the ability to control themselves. You control your patterns, there's nothing on this planet that you can't accomplish.
Wow. My goodness, we could go on forever. Jeremy, let me tell you, this is not the first and last time we do this. I've been getting messages directly sent to me about how we all need more Jeremy in our life. And I'm going to ask you the $1 million question, because I've got witnesses that I was speaking to someone in Colombia, South America yesterday, and I said, I know God's going to send me the speakers that will travel with me to Colombia for the next event that I'm going to do in Medellin, Colombia. So the $1 million question is, are you open to traveling with me to Medellin, Colombia and being one of my guest speakers?
When and where? I gotta go to Colombia to do my teeth, so that'll be perfect.
Oh, have you been to Colombia before?
Yeah.
Ah, you got, okay. Guys, I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Jeremy. We are definitely going to talk again. God bless you. Thank you for this gift. And we want to respect your time as well. Thank you so much. Let's hear it from Jeremy. Let's light up the
Thank
chat.
you guys so much. Thank you. You guys are all awesome. Awesome.
Woo! Let's go. Thank you. Oh my goodness, Alia, we got to close this out. I wish we could stay here forever. This was incredible. We got to do this again, and I'm speechless.
Yes, I'm just like, I had goosebumps throughout the entire time. I think this was incredible. I'm so happy that, we were able to put this together, right? And what a treat to be able to have this video on replay, right? And be able to go back and kind of take, notes and listen to everybody again, and really just implement this, because that's what this is all about, right? Is like, taking your business to a higher level for 2025. So, this is your moment. And I really hope that everyone got something of value. If you did, just take a moment to drop some fire in the chat before we wrap this up, because I mean, I know for me, I was taking notes and I was writing in the chat, and I'm just like, oh, goosebumps throughout the entire time. So Lucy, thank you so much for being the mastermind behind all of this, and just kind of like, you know, just being obedient to the voices that you hear in your mind, right? When it comes to like putting these things together and inviting people and all of that stuff, because without you, none of this would be possible. So let's all just give a round of applause for Lucy as well. Some hearts. We love you. We love you so much. Thank you so much for everything. And guys, before I wrap it up really quickly, tomorrow is a special day as well. We have the inauguration and ribbon cutting to the Southwest Florida Real Estate and Business Academy. So if you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, please take the moment to do so. It's going to be a special moment with special people, and you will not regret it. So we'll be dropping the link really, below. So go ahead and grab your tickets. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for your time, all the experts, advisors. Thank you for all the guests, and we really appreciate you. So have a great 2025.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for believing in this mission and this vision, and let's change lives together. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Carly. Thank you, John. Thank you, Marissa, and thank you, Crystal.
Bye, guys.